for you. Okay, those of you at home, hold on, Okay, I'll start class in a bit. Right, my dear, you can follow me out. Oh, wow, there's so many of you, sorry. Okay, so, and this, I'm sorry. But I have girls all happy. You said yeah, because you haven't heard anything for the education. But it's not the question. I don't know. My not my that that. First, second, this. You know, what's the relevant for you? So you need to do anyone here for this, right? Yes, okay. Thank you. I didn't say okay. Wait a second, Okay, give me a minute. Okay. Check. Okay. Right. Does everybody have a seat? There are more people coming, is it? Okay. All right. Give me a second. Okay, let me open up my slides first. Give me a minute, Okay. All right, Ken. There is one more seat here. Do you know how many more people are coming there? At least one more. I also realized, my dear, you are the thorn among the roses. Okay, because you're the only guy here. I just realized this. But your friend is it your friend who's coming? Okay, Ken. All right, so if that's the case, then okay, there's one more seat here, at least. Are there any seats beside you? Can I check? Two more seats. Okay. Okay. All right, so we have about three more. Okay, can I just check? I think more importantly, do you guys have the worksheet for the lesson? Okay, right. For those of you who don't have the worksheet, let me go and grab it for you. Okay, let me pull out my slides as well. Let me X all this way. Okay. September. Okay. Oh, okay, right. Those of you at home, do you have the worksheet as well? Okay, let me go get the worksheet. How many of you don't have the worksheet? One, two. Okay, I'll just get a few. And then when you get slide here, you can go. Doesn't have the worksheet. Hello. Okay. All right. Yes, I'll send the PDF version. Okay, so I will need to take your attendance, right? So I'll take it in a bit. Give me a second now. Yeah, I can. This is All right, give me a moment now. For those of you online, I'm trying to find it. Wait a second. Is this still on? Should be okay. Okay. All right. Hi, Donna. How do you? Okay. Okay. Right. So, now, I'm assuming those that are home, if you're working, you can refer to the Zoom chat, right? I just sent a PDF, right, to the Zoom chat. Those of you here, if you have the sheet, do take it out. Make sure it says upper secondary instead of lower secondary because it happened the last time. Okay, now let me see, let me see. Sorry. Okay, give me a minute. Here. Okay. So I think we can get started with the lesson. Okay. So hi everyone. Right. I will need to take your attendance in a bit. Okay. So I will need you to tell me your names, right, later on. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Those of you at home, if you are joining with a name that is not your actual name, right, can I get you to just direct message me on okay. Let me also check if it's recording. Okay. Right. Now welcome to the September holiday EOY revision event. Okay. Can I just check? Have any of you gone overseas or traveled this holiday? I mean, technically it is okay, it's Wednesday, so nobody went to like Malaysia over the weekend or anything. You guys are so hardworking. You guys are at home studying, right? That's great. Okay, good. Okay, now as to who I am, okay, so some of you probably know me. Okay, so my name is Amira. I actually teach English here at OVERMUGGED, right, secondary level. Those of you who saw my slides earlier, I think some of you were through the door. I also teach general paper at MC level. Okay, general paper is basically English, right, that is a lot more intense, right? So for example, for the paper one component, it's all argumentative. Right. So that's general paper for you. Okay. I'm currently the subject head of English here at Overmarked, and I was previously a secondary English at the learning as well, and where I was right for about 5+ years. Right, a couple of facts about me. So number one, Mandarin is actually my second language, meaning I had to take for SLE, O levels, and A levels. Okay, so I can read and I can write Mandarin as well. Okay. What I think is more interesting about me though, I did okay for my Mandarin papers, right? How much did I get for my O levels? A2. Yeah, see, I've got A2. But I think my paper, the components are different from yours. I'm sure that your components now are a little trickier as well. Okay. Now, my second fun fact, and I think this one is actually a lot more fun, is that I have three cats. Right. So they are my pride and joy. I love them. Do you hate cats or something? You have a cat. Okay, so you are sneezing in excitement. Okay, but yes, I have three cats. Right. So the two of them are here. So seaweed, bee, and the last one is klede, right? Which is Malay for sweet potato. Because he looks like a fried sweet potato. Right. So that was the logic, right, that I had when I named them. Now, can you guess which one is naughtiest? Yes, the third one. Yeah, based on the pictures alone, it's this guy who can't sit still, right? Okay, so if you see me look a bit tired, part of the reason why is because last night I couldn't really sleep because this orange child of mine, right? He didn't want me to sleep. And so what he did was he brought his toy into the room, right, onto the bed, and he started playing. Okay. I already couldn't sleep. I tried to ignore him. He bit every single one of my toes. right? So I had to sleep with socks on and with like a blanket. I felt like a prisoner in my own bed. Can you just imagine? Okay. Yes, right. So that's what I sleep. So if I look a bit sleepy, right, it's because of this sweet, sweet child of mine. Okay. Yes, right. So all three of them are my cats. And of course, this is a picture of me, right? Not to be confused with my cats. This is me. Okay. So this is like the nicest picture I've taken in, I think, maybe 5 years. I've been using it for everything, every single profile picture. It's just me like this. Okay. Now, enough about me, right? So, what about Overmugged? And I think a lot of you are already familiar with Overmugged. So, I think we are quite popular online. Okay, we've been spreading our love to about 1,000 plus students every year. We also have quite a number of branches. We recently opened, I think, a new branch in Novena. Ah, okay. So some of you, I think, yes, right. So some of you have been there or you are going there, right, for I think the practicals and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, right, just to sort of share with you. Now, other numbers, although this one, I think you can also look it up yourself, right, if you want to know more. Okay, 7% of all of our students actually achieved distinctions at their national exams, meaning, right, they got A1, right, A2, right, for their O levels, or A's, right, for their A levels, right? Because we also have GC classes here. Okay. Now, of course, all these overmarked graduates, they also go on to attend top universities like NUS, right, NTU, etc. Okay. And if you do join us, you will get access to a bunch, right, of learning resources to help you excel in your studies. Over here, right, if you join the science team, okay, or the science classes, you will also be able to do practicals, right? So I think over here they are doing titration. Did I get it right? Yeah, I haven't done science in a long time, right? So I don't remember what titration is, okay? But I'm assuming I trust you guys, it's titration. Okay, so you get to do experiments like that. Okay? Now for English, you will get access to a lot of you'll get curated notes. You will also get access to what I call, right, my Buddha Lake documents. Okay, so for example, let's see. Okay, so for oral, for instance, okay, so this is one document. It's a consolidation document. Yeah, sorry. It's my obsession. I like Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Um, I will not say anything about the recent season, right? But Jujutsu Kaisen, as you can tell, right, it's my obsession. So this is actually a consolidation document, right, that you will get if you do join my classes, lah. Okay? All right, so I'm sorry. I have interest, right? I'm interested in Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay. Okay, so this one I think is like 100 plus page documents, right, that the students were able to use in order to prepare them, right, for the oral paper, right, for example. Okay, right. So it's like pretty long. Okay, I think some of you who are in my classes, I can see your names right online. I'm assuming that you skimmed through them. Good. Okay. Who's my favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen? All right. I think it's quite cool. Okay. Uh, Gojo, I think, is a bit overrated. Don't like me, right? But I think a bit okay. But yes, if you do join classes, you get access to resources like that. Okay, now after class, I will also okay, but after this class, right, if you're able to give us a Google review, you will also get a free full scan pad from us as well. Okay, so it's like full scan paper for free, right? If you want to get it for free later on, if you feel like you post, right? You let me know and I will flash this on screen again. Okay, so this one is for later, right? Later. Okay, all of this is also for later, but I'll just say now I forget. If you are interested in joining us for our 2020 classes next year, okay, what you can do is you can scan this and register your interest. Registering your interest doesn't mean that you sign up. All right. It just means that you're interested so that you can lock in all these early bird perks. Right. So I think the early bird perks, you can get up to $600 cashback. The registration fee will be waived and you get to choose curated notes. You get English and you get to choose, I think, from 2 or 3 other subjects. So that includes things like the specific sciences. So you join, you get English curated notes. You also can choose like bio notes, chemistry notes. I think we also have like history and geography as well. Ah, okay. So that's something that you can get if you join us, lah, right? Early bird perks, free, right? You can get it for free. Okay. it doesn't mean that you register. It means that you signed up. You're just registering to indicate that you're interested, right? So that we know, so that later, if you do decide to sign up, right, your early birds are already there in the system. Can? Can, huh? Okay, right. So this one, just my classes, right? But you can actually see this later on, right? What I think is more important would be the lesson itself, right? So let us get started, okay? Now, what will we be doing today? Right, there are two main components that we will be covering. The first one is a comprehension. We will be looking at specifically the narrative compre because I do think that this is a compre that a lot of us find more confusing. Okay. Now, what we will be focusing on, right, will mainly be our language inference and language plus inference questions. Do these terms look familiar? Kind of. Okay, good. I'll run through what they are in a bit as well. Okay. Now we will also try to see how we can apply all these narrative comprehension to the descriptive essay writing. Okay, and in the process, what we will do is that we will also be learning more about the different writing techniques to make our essays a lot more vivid. Can? Can, Okay. Right. So first and foremost, what are the different compre question types that you learn in school, maybe? That you learn in school? All right, can I hear from you? Content questions, does that sound familiar? Direct questions? Okay, so I see some of you are nodding. Some of you are just like, I'm not sure. Holiday mood. I see. I understand. Okay. Now, there are actually six compre question types. Okay, in total. Your schools may have different names for them, but they're pretty much the same skill. Okay. So you can jot this down, I think, maybe on page 3, right at the top. Or at the back page, there's a blank page here, right? You can jot the ideas down here. Okay, but there are six main compre question types. So you have direct, inferred language. These two would be your hybrid questions. So I combine my direct skill with my inference skill, my language skill with my inference skill as well. Okay, now you also technically have punctuation and type form, but I will say that this one is not commonly tested. Okay, but we just want to be prepared just in case. Okay. Now, what I will say is that we are zooming in on these three, okay, but we will be seeing a couple of direct questions. Now, direct questions, right? When I say direct, some of your schools call it content, okay? Now, what this means is when I go to that paragraph, the answer will be staring me in the face. Do you follow me? Okay, so that means I can copy and paste what I need. I don't need to paraphrase anything unless they ask me to. Okay, so that's how you can confirm if a question is direct, right? Identify a reason, right, for ABC in paragraph 1. I go to paragraph 1. The reason is staring directly into my eyes, begging me, right, to copy it down into the blank. Do you follow me? So that's why we call it direct. Okay. Now, inference language, right, and L plus I. Let me run through these three with you first, right? So can I get you now to hit down to page 4 of your worksheet? Do you see the boxes at the bottom? Okay, can I get you to jot these down first? Okay, so while you're jotting down, I'm going to be taking your attendance. Let's see, what's today's date? 10. Okay, so when I call your name, right, do raise your hand. Hold on now. Ryan. Okay. Claire. Let me see. Okay, Claire, I see you. Irie? Am I pronouncing it? Irie, okay. Irie. Livia. Okay. Anton. Right, are you here? Okay, maybe not. Okay, Raphael. Okay, Raphael Liu. Okay, maybe not. Check. Nicole Lee. Okay, Alexis. Okay, Lucas. Actually, let me just make this easier. In person. Okay, Ethan. Okay, Alexis Tan. Alexis. Oh, there's supposed to be another Alexis. You think you know her? Alexis Ngai. Oh, okay. All right. So let me put this here. Okay, Annabelle Chu. Okay. All right, Nanfa. Okay. Sorry, there are a lot of names. Just give me some time. Okay, Shuru. Am I pronouncing it right? Okay, Shuru. Okay, Ethan. Okay. Shan. 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 Okay. Shan. Arya. Okay. Let's see. Dervina. Am I pronouncing it right? Dervina. Okay. Danny. Danny Chu. Okay. Kaisen. Okay. Those of you online, I will mark later. I'll just refer to the list. Lauren. Okay, Lauren. Zihan. Okay. Rigma. Am I pronouncing it right? Rigma. Okay. Zach. Zach Tang. Okay. Arush. Okay. Thank you, my dear. Right. Chloe Low. Okay. All right. Arian. Arian Pereira. All right. Vaishnavi. Am I pronouncing it right? Okay. Vaishnavi. Shatika. Okay. Melissa. Melissa Emmanuel. Okay. Okay. Whose name did I not call? Can I get your names? Regina. Reina. Is it? Regina? Ah, okay. Ken. What, my dear? How do I spell it, dear? Shuang Yin Ho. Okay, got it. Thank you for spelling it. Anybody else? Oh, that's right. Okay. Ken. The rest of you, don't worry. I will. Okay. Online. Okay. Right, got it. Okay. All right. So now, to go back to our slides, right, I can take a look over here. This is just ranking of your L, I, and L plus I question. Okay, so you notice for language questions, we usually do is to just explain, describe, not analyze. Do you see that? So I'm not asking you to think about why the author is using this. Just asking you to think about what is he trying to say. Do you see? So it's mostly description. Okay, I will say that these questions, right, whenever they are plain, one tip that I have for students is paraphrase the tested quote in context. So what you do is just paraphrasing it in context. For example, let's say I am saying that it's raining cats and dogs in Singapore. Okay? Listening to rain cats and dogs. Shuang Yin? Good. Very heavy rain, right? If I just say the author means that, right, it was that was raining, that's just me paraphrasing it, right? I still need to include the contextual detail. In the original sentence, I say that it was raining cats and dogs in Singapore, correct? So I need to mention the Singapore part in my answer. So that is the contextual detail. Do you follow me so far? So in other words, when you come across what means questions, okay, do know that all you need to do is paraphrase it in context and you will be good to go. Okay? Can I? Usually, right, the test code, it is something that's not meant to be taken at face value. Usually, it is a bit figurative somehow. So just explain, don't need to analyze. Don't think about why, just think about what. Do you follow me? Okay. Now, this is inferential questions. Now, inferential questions, I think we've seen them multiple times already. Okay, and what I'm just showing you is really just for the point, a variety, right, of commonly seen inferential questions. Now, notice over here, we have attitude, emotion, view, thought, etc. Question that for you is the difference between tone and attitude. Shuang Yin, you can choose someone to answer. Choose anybody, you can't choose me. My dear, yes. Here, right? You have been chosen. Okay, so you guys have to be like on guard, right? Okay. What is the difference between tone and attitude? Okay. I say, for example, right? He is critical versus he sounds critical. Which one is tone? Thank you, all of you. Yes, precisely. Okay. Now, tone versus attitude. Tone is how you sound. Okay? Attitude is, you can think of it as how you feel about something. Okay. Now, the news is, right? Let's say I am critical of coffee. All right. That means I don't like coffee, right? My attitude towards coffee is critical. When I talk about coffee, will I sound excited? Of course not. I would sound really good. I would sound angry. I would sound frustrated. I would sound critical. Do you see that? So in other words, attitude influences your tone. Do you follow me? So you feel about something, affect you sound when you talk about it. Now then comes view thought. View and thought, if you come across, right, either question, the approach is the same. Okay? Now view or thought basically refers to the reason for your attitude. Do you see the relationship here? Okay, so view or thought refers to the reason for attitude. So if let's say I am critical of coffee because coffee is bitter, right? That's why I don't like it. My attitude towards coffee is critical. My view of coffee is that coffee is bitter. Do you see the relationship now? So view of right is attitude. Okay, and your attitude influences your tone. Do you see that? Yes, dear? Can. But these three, I think, right, are the more commonly used ones. Okay, right? Our audio is quite laggy, is it? Hold on, let me check. Mm, right. Is it okay if you, the internet connection, everything seems to be okay? Okay, Joel, are you able to maybe log out and then you log back in? Is that okay? Okay, all right. It laggy for you too? Hmm? I'm breaking up. Okay, okay. Let me connect to a different internet. Okay, okay. Right, let me connect to a different internet. Right? Okay. Oh, right. How about now? Do I sound okay now? Oh, better? Okay. All right. So I guess it was my internet. Sorry, Joelle. I made you log out and then log back in. Okay, better now? Okay, okay. Right. Now, to go with this, okay, I will repeat this. The ones that you commonly see for your inference questions, attitude, view, or thought. Right. Right. So it's what is the character's tone? What is the character's attitude towards something? What is his view of something? What does the character think of something? Okay, so view, thought, okay, thought, reason for your attitude. Okay, attitude is how you feel about something. Tone is how you sound when you talk about it. Right? Wait, it's lagging again. Okay, hold on now. Not sure if. All right, because it seems to be okay earlier. Oh no, need to connect to another device. Okay, let me see. Okay. Ah, shucks. Give me a minute. Okay, so let me just airplane mode this, right? So I will off and on my internet. Okay, for those of you at home. Okay, is it better? I see. Okay, so it could be regarded as background noise. Okay, let me check my microphone. I think that would be better. Okay, so, all right, is it better now? Ah, okay. So when I turn and talk, it becomes laggy. Okay, no wonder. So I will put my laptop like this. Okay, right now, always remember that tone is how you sound. Okay, so let's say I am talking about coffee. Okay, now coffee, let's say I don't like coffee, meaning my attitude towards coffee is critical, right? I disapprove of coffee. Okay, now let's say the reason why I disapprove of coffee is because coffee is bitter. That is my view. All right. So my attitude towards coffee is critical. My view of coffee is bitter. Do you see that? And of course, when I talk about it, right, I'm not going to be sounding so excited, right? I would probably sound quite frustrated, right? Maybe a bit annoyed, maybe a bit critical when I talk about coffee. Do you follow me? Is that clearer for you, dear? Chloe, right? Is it clear? Okay. So always remember these three, but it starts from the view or thought, right? Because the view or thought is the one that determines, right, your attitude, right? And your attitude is the one that sort of determines your tone in the process. Okay? Can I? Now, your flowchart question for the narrative compre, it is also inferential. Okay, now language plus inference, if you are wondering, is basically a combination of these two skills for that question. That's all. Okay, now common L plus I questions, effectiveness. You also have author's use of language. And I do think that the second one, especially, is something that you have seen before for your compre. Okay. And I know that it is a pain, like a thorn in your side. So that is something that I will run through in greater detail when we take a look at the questions themselves. Okay? Can I? Okay. For now, all right. Yeah, this one I think L plus I generally is a little bit trickier. Now, just a general rule of thumb, whenever you come across any language question, whether it is L, whether it is L plus I, please always unpack the focus of the question, especially if there is a tested quote. Okay. For example, explain what the author means by ABC. Okay, I jot that down first. So what do I know about it? Do you see that? Okay. Same thing, right? When it comes to the focus of the question or the focal point, right, of the question, make sure that you unpack it as well. Now, when I say unpack, what I mean is I think of synonyms, I think of related words, related ideas. I jot them down at the side. Maybe I come up with two or three synonyms for that word. Okay, that's going to help me not just with my sourcing and understanding, but maybe even the way that I phrase my final answer. Do you follow me? And I'll demonstrate this later when we take a look at your language use questions. Okay? Can so far? Okay, all right. Now, do know, those of you at home, if you do have any questions, feel free to type it inside the Zoom chat. So you can send it in the main chat or you can direct message me, like what a number of you are doing. Those of you here, feel free to stop me. You can raise your hand, let me know, and I will do my best to answer in the moment. Can? Can, huh? Okay, all right. Now, can I get you to take a look at today's questions first? Okay, so to give you a bit of a hint, question 1 and question 9 are direct questions, meaning that they're testing you on your sourcing. Can I get you to take a look at all the other questions? Identify whether or not they are language, inference, or L plus I. Okay? But we'll take a look at the questions together. I'll run through general approaches to them as well, so that it is easier, right, for you to revise, right? No, right? So I won't be going through summary. I will only be going through compre, right, as well as descriptive essay writing. Okay, so no summary this time around. Also because it's narrative compre, there's no summary question attached to the narrative. Okay? Okay. Hold on now. Let me send it to you. Okay, I'll give you maybe about 2 more minutes just to try. You can jot down at the side of the question number whether it's L, I, or L plus I. Okay, if you're not sure, it's okay. I'll be running through them with you in a little bit. Okay. Right, do try to identify, even if you're not sure. Okay, once you're done, you can look up, right, so that I know. I can, dear. Hold on now. I will send the PDF to today's worksheet in the main chat, right, again, for those of you at home. Okay, so instructions are on screen. Okay, so identify the question type, whether it's language, inference, or L plus I. So the three question types that we looked at earlier, don't need to do them yet, right? Just identify only. You have about 30-ish more seconds to go. Okay, and then I'll run through the questions with you, right? Let me pull out my copy. Yes. Okay. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Now, everyone more or less done? Sorry, those of you online, I'm getting a lot of messages, yeah? Okay. But everyone more or less done with your question identification first? Done? Okay. All right, so let's take a look at, right, the questions themselves. Now, do jot down notes inside your worksheets, lah. Okay? Now, if you take a look over here, all right, the narrative says a series drought, so on and so forth. You're supposed to identify two phrases. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is a direct question, meaning all they're testing me on is my sourcing. Okay, so all that I need to do is basically source for the phrase and I'm done. Okay, now my question to you is when they ask me to identify a phrase, do I need to use quotes like this? Or can I just write the phrase like that? Yes, I need the quotes. It doesn't matter whether it's single or double, it's fine. Okay, but I need the quotes, otherwise, my answer is wrong. Okay, so it's a sort of thing where if they ask you to identify, right, a phrase, identify a word, identify an expression, please make sure that you have your quotes. In fact, if they ask you to identify detail, even, please have your quotes there. Okay, you don't need to put quotes if they ask you for evidence. Right? If they ask you to identify a piece of evidence that illustrates A, B, C, I don't need my quote. Yes, dear? Expression can be things like words or phrases. Expression is another word for phrase, lah. Right? Terms like Yes, technically, right? For the purposes of your compre, they're interchangeable. Yes, dear? Honestly, no difference, right? Because at the end of the day, or the point of quotes in general, is really to show that you're taking the words as is from the passage. The same thing. Okay, so some teachers prefer single quotes, some teachers prefer double quotes. In all honesty, and definitely for the purposes of your O levels, right, or the final paper that you'll be sitting for, it doesn't matter, right? What is important is I have the quotes there, the inverted commas. Okay. Now, when you are quoting, please make sure that you copy and paste exactly, right? Don't change anything. So if let's say I need to quote, right, the word apples, okay, and A is capitalized, right? I can just leave it alone like that. Don't change anything, okay? Reason being, technically you can change, but when you change, you need to indicate by using square brackets. Do you see that? And when I put square brackets like this, you notice it's just extra work for me because I need to figure out which one I'm changing, right? I use the square. It can be just a bit confusing, okay? So in other words, to avoid all that, just copy and paste as is. Don't change anything and you are good to go, right? So as you can see on screen, right? So when do you quote? If it is a phrase, a word, an expression, or a detail, okay? Can so far? Can I? Okay. Now, in this case, they're asking for a phrase, so make sure that you identify them carefully. Now, for phrases, if they ask you to identify two phrases, make sure that each phrase is focusing, ideally, right, on a distinct idea. Okay, so that's also an advice that I have for your language used questions, which we will take a look at right in a bit. Okay, for now, in the interest of time, I'm going to move on to our question two. Now, question two, the narrator says, when I heard their dry volleys, I knew our long arm stays, right, was over. What is unusual and effective? Okay, this one, L plus I. Okay, L for language, effectiveness is L plus I, right? So L plus I just to cover both. Okay, now for unusual questions, right? When it comes to unusual questions, ask yourself, how is this word normally used versus how is it used in the passage? Okay, so how is the word or phrase, okay, typically used versus how is it used in the passage? Okay, if I say, for example, right, let me see. Let me see the list. Okay. If I say, for example, right, Arya, right, is a lion. Okay. What is unusual about the word lion? A lion is typically used to refer to an animal, right? But in this particular context, it is used to refer to a person. Do you see that? So that's basically how I answer the unusual question. Okay. Can so far? Notice I'm not examining, not asking why you use the word lion. I'm just asking you to explain what, right? How it is used. Do you follow me so far? Okay. The effectiveness one, right? Questions on effect is where you think about why that thing is used. Okay. So why use lion? What am I trying to say about the person? Do you see that? Okay, so what I usually tell my students to do, step one, identify, right, the main subject matter, okay, and the figurative thing, okay? So if let's say the entire passage is on Arya, right, then you notice lion is the figurative thing. The subject matter is always the word, right, or the phrase that is directly related to the rest of the passage. Do you see that? Okay. Directly related to the rest of the story, even. Okay. So you identify those two, and then what you do is you zoom in on the figurative thing. Okay. So unpack, right? The figurative thing. Okay. So think about connotations, especially. Think about meanings. Okay. Now, for instance, I mentioned lion, right? What are some connotations of a lion? In other words, what are some ideas, right, or words that are associated with lions? Right, let me see. I would say Ideas associated with the thing. Okay, so what ideas are associated with lions? Scary, very good. Lions are indeed good, threatening. They are scary. What else? Good, courageous, right? Lions, they do connote courage. Okay, good, as brave as a lion, so bravery. Okay, can I get one more? Yes, my dear. Yes, I guess so. That is a connotation of a lion, right? Majula Singapura. Okay, so I guess you're not wrong. Okay, but you notice I'm saying that with reluctance, right? Lion, you're not wrong. Okay, but conventionally, of course, it's because lions are associated with bravery. That's why it has become an icon, right, of Singapore. Ah, okay. And yeah, Sang Nila Utama saw a lion, right, and stuff like that. But because it's like a brave animal. Ah, okay. Hairy, lion, lions are not. Lions are furry. Okay. I wouldn't say hairy. Of course, of the mane, is it? I guess so, right? But I would say that it's not a conventional affiliation. Okay. So you notice one learning thing here. Yes, I say ideas associated with the thing, conventional ideas, right? Think about how many people, lions, ooh, hairy. Nobody thinks about that, right? We see a lion, we say, oh my goodness, scary, right? Courageous, okay? Furry, maybe, okay, but not hairy. Lah. Okay, I think the word you're thinking of may be the wrong one. Okay? Can so far? Can but thank you for contributing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So do contribute. Okay. But yes. Now notice once I am done unpacking. Usually what happens is I will find that I have maybe two or three possible connotations. Okay. What I do next is I go back to my passage. Okay. So out of all the connotations, right, in that I came across, right, for number two, which one is most applicable given the passage? Do you see that? So which one is most applicable given the passage? Okay, can so far? So if let's say, right, sorry, Arya, to use your name again. Okay, but Arya was a lion, right? She stood up to that bully. Are we trying to say that Arya is scary or courageous? Okay. Furry is out. All right. Furry is out. Okay. But you notice that in this instance, it's not so much about Arya being scary, but rather her being courageous, being brave enough to stand up to that bully. Do you follow me so far? Ah, okay. So that's what I mean by going back to the passage to confirm, okay, which connotation to go with. Take a look at what else they say about the subject matter in other words. Lah. Okay. Can so far? Can right. Can I get you guys to maybe jot that down? Let's see. All right. Did they say about the subject matter? And usually for inferences or your effectiveness questions, okay, components that I need to see would be the subject matter and your inference. Lah. Okay. So one common way of phrasing is it is effective in emphasizing. You can say highlighting, you can say suggesting, it's fine, but emphasizing is quite versatile. You can just remember this format. You can say that or how? Subject matter followed by inference. And for your inference, it could be an is situation, it could be a do situation, it could also be a have situation, depending on what you want to focus on, depending on how you want to phrase your answer. So it could be that it is effective in emphasizing, right, that Arya is brave. Is, right? I use an adjective, right? Maybe I want to phrase it, right, as a have situation. So Arya has a lot of courage. Do you see that? Okay. Do has to do with action, right? So it is effective in emphasizing, right, that the character runs quickly. Something like that. Okay? Anybody has any questions at this point in time or so far so good? Can Right now, I also say that we should, right, take a look at the tested quote, right? And I think a lot of you, when you saw this question, you were just like, what is that? Okay. Now, if you take a look, I think the juiciest word here is armistice. Okay. Now, What does this mean? Okay. If I were to say, right, that the two countries, right, decided, right, to reach an armistice, right? So after fighting, right, for years and months, right, they decided that it was enough and they don't want to fight anymore. So they reached, right, this agreement. What kind of agreement do you think this is? Good, a truce. Right? It is basically an agreement made by the sides in a war to stop fighting for a period of time.
Peace
Okay,
agreement.
sorry, dear? Disagreement? Peace
Peace
agreement. Yeah.
agreement.
Yes, peace agreement. Correct. Okay, very good. Okay, so that's basically what, right, this means, right? A kind of peace agreement. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let me put it here. A peace agreement, right? A truce. Okay, that's basically what this means. Now, you notice I'm not saying that there was an armistice, right? I'm saying that the armistice was over. What do you think that means then? What happens, right, when truces are broken? Good. They're going back to fighting, right? So that is me trying to understand the idea, right? The underlined idea in total. Okay, so I say this also because I think a lot of students zoom in on this, not realizing, okay, that it's over. There's now war. Okay, there is now some kind of fighting. Okay, but is it literal fighting or what are the two sides in this war? That one later you read and you find out. Can? Can. Okay, if you do have any questions, right, do let me know in the Zoom chat. Make sure your questions are also a bit specific. Okay, because otherwise it will be tough, right, for me to help you out. Okay? Yes, dear. So let's say if we were to go back to the Arya example, sorry, my dear. So Arya was a lion, right? Arya stood up to the bullies, right? Arya was able to stand up for her friends even though she was scared. So you notice the metaphor is that Arya was a lion, right? That's the figurative part. What else do they say about Arya? Oh, she stood up for her friends. She fought the bully. So you notice those two are giving me clues to decide, right, which connotation to go with, scary or courageous. Do you follow me? So usually, what other things, right, they say about the subject matter? It is meant to help you find out what else they are saying to help you decide which connotation is the best. Right? Sometimes you come across a connotation and it could work, but it is not ideal. Okay, so that's why you have other words in the paragraph to help you out. Okay? So when your teacher says in school, right, look for contextual clues. Look for contextual clues. This is what they are referring to. Right, this question right here. Do you follow me so far? Okay. Can? Can. Okay. Right now, question 3, what is it referring to? Now, to help you out, okay, I usually put this under direct because it's just your sourcing question. Okay. Now, usually for these sort of sourcing questions, what you need to do is you need to work backwards, right? And I would say sometimes forwards. Okay. My advice is, right, to, let's see, I'll put it here. Replace the tested word with what you think is the answer. Does it still make sense? Okay. So if I think, oh, the old terror is referring to an alien. When I replace it here, alien, right? The old terror, the old alien had come again and is always in the middle of the night. Okay. Does that still make sense in the entire story? If it still makes sense, then yeah, I probably have my answer. If it doesn't, I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to find another answer. Do you follow me? Can I? Now, 3II, this one, what impression is created by using this phrase? So if I were to rephrase it, it's kind of like the L plus I question, right? What is it suggesting about this? What does this quote suggest about that focus? Do you see that? Over here is just that I put the focus first. Right, so what do you get about the focus based on the tested quote? Okay, so this one is our L plus I question. Okay, and notice we're supposed to figure out an impression of the old terror based on this particular phrase. And you notice they say in the middle of the night, right? What does it mean in the middle of the night? if something approaches you or appears, right, in the middle of the night, what are some connotations of that thing? Is it something that you were expecting?
Unexpected.
Good, right? Unexpected. Okay, good, right? Surprising. Any other words? Any other ideas?
Scary.
Right? Scary, could be, right? Especially if it is referring to a ghost. Nocturnal, okay? I would say nocturnal does not necessarily imply in the middle of the night, but I can see the idea there. I can see the idea there. Actually, let me put it here. He could be saying that the old terror may be something nocturnal, okay? Now, if let's say something is unexpected, right, to build on that idea, because a lot of you are giving me this answer as well, if something is unexpected, right, how do you think you'd be responding to that thing, right? With shock, right? Good. Why? Why would you be shocked? So, would you be able to address it immediately? No, right? Good. You are not prepared for it, right? You're not prepared for it. You're not able to address it immediately. Okay, good. Okay, so not prepared. Okay, very good. So notice a lot of possibilities already, right? The only thing I need to do now, right, for our 3II is to go to the passage and see which one works best in that context. Can so far? Can, Now I will say that for your papers, you don't have to think of, oh, over here I thought of 7. For my exam paper, I must also come up with 7. No. Right, come up with maybe 2 or 3. It's fine. Okay? Can? Can, Okay, right. Now
Uh,
next one.
s- Excuse me, sorry. For question 2, the stuff that
Mhm.
you wrote, do we have to write everything?
Yes, right. It's for note taking. You can also jot them down at the side, right? You can also take pictures, right? If you want to, that one is fine too. Okay? It's
Yeah.
really more. Yes,
Please give me a moment. Can I screenshot it?
can. Okay? Right. So remember that if you want to take pictures, it's fine. Right? You can take pictures. Okay. But all of this is really meant to help us, right, with later. And when you are doing your revision, it will become so much easier once you are able to apply these skills. Can dear? Yes, sir? Can. Right. Do you know where the toilet's at? Okay. Okay. Right. So in the interest of time, to move on first. Okay. Right. Sarbesh, is that okay? Right. Sarbesh, right? I think you're the one who asked to screenshot.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
okay. Can now.
and now, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'll take a look at question 4. Okay, now question 4, what kind of person, right, is the mother? Notice they're asking about the mother's personality, right? The mother's character, right? Okay. All right. So what kind of question is this? L plus I? Yes, it's just inference. Okay. So the minute they're asking about personality, tone, attitude, inference. Okay. Now this one, later we will take a look at the passage, right? So we will save this for later. Now question 5, this one, L plus I. How do I know it's L plus I? It is the author's use of language. Okay. Now, for L plus I questions, just a reminder, your answers by right should have 3 parts. Okay. So you need to quote, you need to explain your quote, and you need to link it back to the question. Right. So this is what I call QEL. So I think some of your schools call it QER, R for relate back to the question, same thing. Okay. It's just that I have a different letter for it, right? But it's basically the same skill. Now, what this means is, right, when it comes to crafting your final answer, the author uses some quote, okay, which highlights some explanation. So you're basically explaining the quote, right? And remember, you're just explaining what the word means for your L question. So this is the L component, right? So I'm basically just explaining what the quote means. And then I link it to my question. Oops, sorry. Yes, emphasizing that or how. And then I have my link. Do you see that? Yes, dear.
Can you like take it as history inference question? Like we after we do the evidence, after that and explain the source.
Can technically that's the approach lah. So in this case, the source, right, would basically be the quote that you have chosen. right? So you need to explain, right, the quote that you have chosen. So if, let's say, the author uses, sorry, Arya, I keep thinking about you and that example. Okay. It is usually, I think, usually the kind of quotes that you will see, right, that appear, right, for this sort of question, they tend to be a bit figurative as well. Okay, so when I say explain, okay, it's really all about paraphrasing in context, right? So basically, kind of like the cats and dogs question that I shared earlier. Do you remember? Raining cats and dogs, phrase text, right? So I paraphrase in context here as well, right? But for the quote that I've chosen, lah. Okay? Yes, dear. Yes, right. For all other questions, you don't need to use this QEL format. Okay, QEL is specific, right, to this question type. Now, a lot of students tell me, okay, I can explain the quote, okay, but how do I get the link? My advice is to unpack the tested quote or unpack the tested focus. That's how you get the link, right, for this question. Over here, my focus is the loud and noisy situation that the family experienced in the middle of the storm, right? Okay, now loud and noisy. I say unpack. What are some ideas that come to mind? Some synonyms for loud and noisy. Anybody? Good. Chaotic? Can I get words? Right, my dear, you can choose the next person. Uh, yes, dear? Sorry, dear? Oh, bustling, cat. Right, bustling, I do think implies a kind of activity as well. Okay, anything else? Right, I'll open it up to the floor. Obnoxious? Why obnoxious? Oh, I would say that obnoxious is more to describe people. Lah. Ah, okay. Over here, they say situation. So I wouldn't use the word obnoxious to describe a situation, but a person, yes, very much so. Okay. Any other words, maybe? Dunno, let me see. Oh, okay. All right. It could be that it was, what was this? Cacophony. Sorry. Okay, Ken. All right, cacophony. Okay, now cacophony, if you're wondering, what does this mean? It means a lot of different noises at the same time. Okay, like when you go to let's say like the wet market or the night market, the pasar malam. And there's a lot of people. Everybody is talking about different things at the same time. You have sellers sometimes shouting, you have music playing. You can say that there was a cacophony of noises. Right? So it's not like your a cappella where there are different noises where they sound harmonious. Cacophony, different kinds, right? Okay, very noisy, very messy, very chaotic. Do you follow me so far? Okay. Good, 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 good. Okay, so good. Right, thank you for these words. Okay, so over here, basically, okay. So over here, oh, okay, sorry. I'll add one more. Okay, can. Right, piercing, can. Okay, so the idea here is all of these words can be used for my link. Right, the author uses this quote which highlights an explanation, thus emphasizing that the situation was piercing. Right, thus emphasizing that it was a chaotic situation. Do you see that? Yes, dear.
So like, say your questions on like use the words for question for your link. We get 0.
You use the words in the question. Solid, is it? I think it would be accepted. Okay. Now, the reason is because technically QEL, this is an example of a complete answer. Right. Now, if I have my quote, I have my explanation, correct. Right. My quote explanation link, even more correct. Okay. So technically, if let's say your link is just you reusing the question, okay, your answer would still technically be right. Lah. Okay. So you still get the mark. Okay. You will not get the mark if you give me the quote only with nothing. You don't get the mark. If you give me the quote and you basically just paraphrase the question only, you won't get the mark either. Do you see that? Now that is because I can accuse you of not analyzing the quote. I'm asking you to explain the language, right? You choose this and then you don't explain it. Do you see that? So QEL, correct. QE, correct. QL, not correct. Q on its own, also not correct. Can does that answer your question, dear? no problem. Okay, but do note that an example of an ideal answer is when you have all three components. Lah. I do think that some schools are quite strict about this because I think some schools insist, right, that you have all three before you get the mark. So you take your school's cue. Okay? Can so far? Can, Okay. Right, so later on, you can just use one of these, right, inside your link if you'd like. Now, question 6, okay, what is this suggesting about the rain? Okay, what is this quote suggesting about something else? L plus I, okay. Question 6II, identify a short phrase that suggests, right, the same idea. This one, identifying a phrase only, right? Just a direct question, just sourcing. Do you see that? Can, Okay, so I won't run through this yet. Okay, so later, after you're done reading the passage, then we'll go back to this. Now over here, question on tone. What question type is tone? L plus I? I, correct. Okay. Now question 8, right? What is the storm being compared to? This one, I would say language, because they're asking you to just explain only, right? They're not asking you to analyze it. So you notice any question that has to do with just explaining, right, or describing a particular figurative phrase, it's still language. The minute they ask you to explain why, right, why would the author use this? What is the effect, right? Then it is L plus I. Do you follow me? Okay. Now over here, you notice precisely that. What is it suggesting about that? Okay, so in other words, why would the author use this, right, to talk about the storm or the rain? Actually, can I get you guys to maybe change this one to storm? Okay, instead of rain. I think it will help us with our question later. Okay? That's where I need to think about why would the author use this actually to describe the storm? What is he trying to say about the storm? Did you see that? Ken? Anybody has any questions or so far so good? We're just looking at the questions only, yeah, at this point. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes, dear? Yes, my dear. What's your question?
What does the I mean?
I? Inference. L plus I for inference. All right, does that answer your question? Okay, so
Yes.
the question types that we looked at earlier. Okay,
Okay.
so L plus I, language inference, language plus inference. Okay?
So is it possible if later part you could show the first part, like the language inference, language plus inference, because I couldn't finish writing it down just now.
Okay, Ken. Right, so maybe later at the end of class, I can just show it to you lah. Okay?
Thank you.
And just remind me, okay, in case I forget. All right. Now, question 9, I said this is a direct question. Okay, now notice, identify one detail, also direct, but don't forget to have your quotes. Okay, so you quote, right? You copy and paste as is. Okay. Same thing for this, right? It's a direct question, meaning the answer can be found directly inside the paragraph. You just go and find it and you are good to go, honestly. Okay? Can, Okay. Now, question 10 is your flowchart question. So like I said, this one is definitely inferential. Are there any words here that you want me to go through first?
Foreboding, anticipation,
Okay, foreboding, anticipation. Right, any other word?
unpleasant aftermath.
Okay, so I'm assuming the trickier word for unpleasant aftermath is the aftermath, is it? Okay,
Yes.
let's see. Okay, the other words, you guys are all okay? Okay, right now, since you guys here are familiar with foreboding, imminent, okay, can. Right, so imminent. Okay, so we'll start maybe with imminent first. Any other words? Awakening, can. Okay, so let me see. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so maybe we'll go with awakening first and then just in this order. I think it will be easier. Okay, now awakening. Okay, awakening is basically kind of a realization. Okay, a realization. Can I get you to jot that down? Okay. Not now. Okay, now, if I say that something is a rude awakening, right? I'm basically saying that it was a sudden, unpleasant realization. Okay, like, oh, he hasn't worked, right? Before. So when he was at his first job, he got a rude awakening. Right. So in other words, he has not worked before. He doesn't know much about jobs. When he worked the job for the first time, he had an unpleasant, sudden realization, maybe about the nature of the job. See that? Okay. So it's not a positive thing. Okay. Usually when I say there was a rude awakening, I would feel quite disappointed after, right? Yeah, usually it's just like, huh? What a terrible, right, realization. You get that sudden awareness that things are terrible. Okay. Now, I would say that when I realize something, the aftermath usually is disappointment. Okay, so aftermath basically means, right, a situation that is after, right, the main incident, right, the after effects, right? Can I get you guys to jot that down? Okay. Usually it is the after effects of a significant, unpleasant situation. All right, hold on now. Do you see that? So I don't say, oh, the aftermath of my birthday party, right, was blah, 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 blah. No. Aftermath of war, right? The aftermath of failure. So usually it's something that is significant, right? And something that is not positive, something that is negative. Okay? Correct. So aftermath can refer to the after effects, which could include consequences. Right? It's basically referring to the consequences or the after effects of something that is unpleasant. Okay? Can Now, when we talk about unpleasant things, okay, foreboding is another term to refer to something that is unpleasant. More specifically, it refers to something that is quite a feeling like, ominous, the word ominous. That's what foreboding also means, right? So when I say that, oh, there is this foreboding atmosphere, it feels like something bad is going to happen. Do you see that? Okay. So it implies that something bad is going to happen. Okay. So it means that you have this you have this sense of apprehension. Do you follow me? Like a fearful, right? Apprehension. Okay. So it makes you feel anxious because you think something bad is going to happen. Do you see that? Can so far? Can like ominous. Correct. Ominous. Okay. Now, notice I say going to happen. That's basically what imminent means. Okay. So when I say that something's imminent, I'm basically saying that, hey, it's about to happen already. Do you see that? Hold on. Now let me put it here. Okay. So it is impending. It is near, right? It is about to happen. Okay. There is imminent defeat. In other words, the defeat is going to happen. Right? There's imminent danger. The danger is going to happen. It's about to happen. Okay. Do you follow me so far? Right? Does this answer your questions about the words here at least? Yes, dear. Something bad is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just in general. So imminent happiness, right? Imminent joy. So in a neutral term, lah. Okay, foreboding, right, is the one where I say it's kind of like the others in a sense that it's referring to something negative. Okay, a foreboding atmosphere can, right? So we use foreboding to describe a feeling, right? So if I say that there is a foreboding atmosphere when I went into the haunted house, right, means that I feel like something bad is going to happen when I'm there. Do you follow me? Okay. Imminent and neutral. Okay, it could refer to something good, it could refer to something bad as well. Can? Anybody has any other questions? Okay, right. So if you have no other questions, okay, let me go back to my slides. What I want you to do is to read the passage, and I want you to answer the questions on page 4 first. So do you see the 4 questions here? So just read, right, and answer these questions. We'll take a look at the passage, right, and then we will look at the questions together. Okay? Okay? Yes, dear.
How are we doing? After that.
I want us to do it together, right? Let me see, let me see. I'll get you to try some questions first, right? And then I'll go through all of the questions with you. Okay? But actually, let me see. Yes, right. So try to come up with answers, right, for the questions on page 4. first. But if you want to try the compre questions already, feel free to do so.
Questions on this.
Yes, correct. Right, so I'll get you to do some of the compre questions later, and then I'll be going through all of the compre questions with you. But this one is so that we get a sense of what the passage is about, lah. Okay, because I think the passage this time round, it is actually a lot trickier. Okay, so that's why I want to run through what the passage is about first. Okay, now I will give you maybe about 10 minutes just to read and come up with answers for these 4 questions only on page 4. Okay, yes, dear? Can. Right, and then afterwards we will quickly consolidate before we take a look at the comprehension. Okay, now to make things less painful, right, let me use the duck rays. Let me see. Right, maybe Rigma, how many ducks? Right, can you give me a number from 2 to 100? 100? Okay. All right, so I'll put 100 ducks for 10 minutes. Okay, so if you're wondering what I'm referring to, so it's just my little timer. Hee hee. Okay, so feel free to let me know which duck you think is going to win, right? From ducks 1 all the way to 100. Okay. You think any pink duck will win? Duck number 67? Sure. Okay, if you think duck number 67 is going to win, go ahead. Okay. Now, what's more important is not the ducks, but rather, okay, you answering the questions on page 4. Okay. So now, I'll give you 10 minutes to find the answers. Okay, your time starts now. The ducks should be racing. Okay. Yeah, there's also an Italian brain rot race if you guys want. Okay, but we will stick to the ducks for now. Okay, it's a little laggy if you're wondering because it's like 100 ducks, right? So usually it's a bit heavy. Read and come up with answers. Page 4 only. Do you see there are questions for checking for understanding? Okay, so just read. Only 10 minutes lah. Okay, it would be cruel to give you 10 minutes to do all 9 questions.
Excuse me, what is calorie pump?
Sorry?
What is
Words that you
calorie
want to
pump?
run. Any words that you want to run through, you highlight them first. Then later when we
Okay,
go through the passage, I'll go through with them.
thank
Okay?
you.
No problem. Yeah. If you guys want to grab a snack or two, you can, by the way. Like the shelf is right outside. Okay, so feel free. Yeah, it's free. Go ahead. Yeah. Of course, I mean, don't take like a whole box. Take what you need at a time, lah. Okay? To me. No problem. Right? Okay. Ryan, let me text you. Right? Let me DM you. Right? You really just need to read the passage, answer the questions on page 4. Okay, about 3 more minutes. Okay, about 2 more minutes. Okay. About 30-ish more seconds. Yes, sir. Can. Okay, right. So 10 more seconds. Okay, right. So I guess duck number 48 won. Were any of you gunning for duck 48? Some of you look really, really disappointed that the duck won. Okay, the grandma duck, yes. Okay. Yes, right, correct, Ryan. So the mother was afraid, right, of the flood, of the house falling off from the hillside, from the surface runoff. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so let me X this away. Okay, and let me hear from you so that I can get a sense of whether or not you understood what was going on in the passage. Okay, so question one, what happened in 1921? There was drought, right? And what does drought mean?
Famine.
Correct. Good, right? So no rain for a long period of time. So that happened in 1921. And how did the villagers respond to the no rain period? Sorry? They prayed, and then what did they do when their prayers didn't work? They started shooting at the sky, right? Basically. Okay. Now, what happened after was that the narrator we learned, right? He and his family, they experienced, right, a flash flood. What did they do during this flash flood? Sorry, there? Yes, right. They tried to sweep the water away. Okay, good, right? Unsuccessfully, correct. They're sweeping the water away. And what was the aftermath of the flash flood? Describe in 5 words or less. What happened after the flash flood? What was the aftermath like? Horrible mess in the kitchen. Okay, very good. Right? Anything else? Okay,
Mud
dirty.
and slime all over.
Sorry, dear.
Mud and slime all over.
Yeah, precisely, right? There was mud and slime all over. Disgusting. Yes, right. Thank you for describing the aftermath. It was disgusting, right? It was dirty. There was a lot of mud. Okay. Now, after this obviously traumatic incident, right? What did our narrator realize? Could he and his family die of flood? No, why not? Their house was on a hill. Right? Meaning, whatever the flood was, right, as Ryan said, they were worried about surface runoff. So the mother was freaking out, like, oh my God, we're going to die. Everybody wake up, we're going to die. Turns out they wouldn't have died from a flash flood because their house was so high up. The flood waters were probably like, it was just surface runoff. Do you see that? So correct. So the mother was being very dramatic for, in a sense, no reason. Okay? Can so far? Can. Okay, good. Right. So you guys have an idea of what the passage is about. Now, what I want you to do now is to complete these 5 questions. Okay, if you're done early, try the other questions. I want to go through all of the questions with you right after this. Okay. Now, this one I will give you maybe about 8 minutes. I think it should be fine. You want a rematch of the duck race. How many of you want a re-race? Because your ducks didn't win? I see. Okay. Fine, right? Maybe instead of 100 ducks, how about we have 2 ducks? Do you guys want that? Then there's like a 50-50 chance of your duck winning. You know what I mean? Okay, right? So I'll put just 2 ducks. I'll give you 8 minutes only because I think should be sufficient. These are what I would consider the easier questions. Okay?
Uh, Excuse me, what is inundations?
Inundations. Right? Actually, let me ask. All right. Okay. All right. Actually, let me put a pause here first. Shall we go through the passage quickly first? Because I think there are a lot of words that you want me to go through. Okay, so I'll go through the passage first and then you try these questions. Lah. Is that okay? Can, huh? Yeah, I think that will be easier and better for you as well. Because otherwise, I think some of the words are going to be too tricky. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, I will focus only on the meanings, right, of the words. Okay, we've more or less looked at what's happening inside the passage. Okay, so paragraph 1, 2, and 3. What words do you want me to run through? Any words? You can just shout out the words.
Inundations.
Okay, inundations. Which paragraph is it?
8.
Paragraph 8, is it? 1, 2, 3 first.
Okay.
Dry volleys. Okay, hold on now. Dry volleys.
Scullery pump.
Scullery pump. Yes, my dear. Scullery pump. Okay, anything else? Or shriveled, is it? Shriveled. Okay, very good. Okay. Are these the main words you want me to go through? Kenna? Okay. Right, so drought, actually, one of you is asking. Drought, I actually mentioned earlier, it means a period, right, of no rain. So usually what happens is, if it doesn't rain for one day, it's not a bad thing, right? But if it doesn't rain for a long time, like maybe it doesn't rain at all, right, for like 3 months, right? It's going to be quite a terrible situation. Usually what happens is, the soil also needs water, right? And so without any rain, okay, what happens is the land, it becomes a bit cracked and dry. So if you Google, for example, pictures of drought, right? Usually the first thing you'll see is how the land looks like, and there will usually be cracks. Okay, because correct, they can't sort of like hold their shape, I guess, right? Because it's too dry. Okay. Now, next one, scullery pump. Scullery pump, you can think of it just as we need to know what scullery means first. Okay. So scullery, if you are wondering, okay, scullery refers to like a small kitchen at the back of the house. So this is actually an older term, right? So a small kitchen, or I would say area, right, at the back of the house, okay, usually used, right, for washing dishes, right, or other dirty household chores. Okay, so let's say you want to wash, for example, right, your shoes got very muddy and very dirty. Where do you wash your shoes? You can go to the scullery and wash it. Do you see that? Okay, so that is, right, the scullery for you. So when I say scullery pump, I'm basically referring to the pump that is at the scullery area. Okay, usually a scullery pump would be there to, if I were to show you how it looks like, I feel like they will only show you the modern version, but it is something like this. All right, let me show you. It is just for water to pass through. It looks something like this, right? You could say it's like a scullery pump, something like this, right? So usually you get water right into your house through this kind of machinery, lah. Right? I mean, that's basically what it's referring to. Okay. Now over here they say that the scullery pump, or the water that is going through this pump, okay, usually when you get water into the kitchen, right, it needs to be usable, right? So you can wash the dishes, right? So you can use it for cooking. Okay, but now instead of the water being usually sweet, now it tasted of nails. Okay, so it could be that there's not enough water, right? So maybe of course, it could be like the pipe itself, right? Maybe being a bit rusty. So now you can taste it, right? Even more so. Okay, it also has to do, I do think, with the quality of the water, lah. Because water actually tastes different, right? In different situations. Like water, when you leave out, right, uncovered, right, in the day for a long time, the water is actually quite stale. And it can taste kind of like nails as well if it's just out there. Yeah, so it's just a specific situation that the water is in, lah. Okay, so it tastes a bit metallic as a result of the drought, not enough water. So it probably borrows the taste from the pumps that it goes through. Do you follow me? Okay. Now over here, right? So, oh, sorry, it's not crops burn in the field. My dear Chloe, it's shriveled, right? Okay, shriveled. If I were to give you an example, when you go swimming for a long time, your nails have those wrinkles. You can say that it has shriveled. So shriveled is another way of saying like a wrinkle. Okay. Yes, right? But shriveled, right? You can use it to refer to leaves as well. The idea here when I use shriveled is that it is wrinkled and shrunken. Do you follow me? Usually when I use it, it is because there's a loss of moisture. Why? Why? Okay, but I'm glad that the word shriveled has inspired you to be a singer of some sort. Okay, but definition, right? Wrinkled, right? And shrunken. Okay. I like how the trigger was the word shriveled. Okay, now typically I use it, right? Because I'm referring to something that has lost moisture or even old age. So you can see like the elderly's fingers, right? The elderly woman's fingers were shriveled to show that it was very wrinkled, right? And shrunken. Loss of moisture, okay, or old age. Okay? But can so far? Right, Chloe, does that answer your question? Can, ah? Okay. All right. Now let me erase because I realize oops. Okay. Never mind. Okay, never mind. All right, maybe this one. Delete. Okay. Now, paragraph 2, any words here? We went through armistice. Okay, I realized, sorry. Dry volleys. Now, volley, right, refers to, in this context, gunshots. Okay. So in this context, volley refers to gunshots, right? So something you shoot like multiple times at one go. Okay. So multiple at one go. Okay, like many gunshots at one go. So that is what volleys is referring to. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, this portion here, is it? From paragraph 1? Okay, can which line is it, my dear? The old folks said the sun has slipped in its course. Okay, okay. Right, so let me run through that after I run through volleys. Okay? But volleys, TLDR, within the context of this passage, it is really referring to multiple gunshots at one go. Okay? Another meaning of volley is that, you know, volleyball, you pass the ball one side to the other, right? So that is also another meaning of volley, right? So the voices volleyed, right, off the walls, right? They bounce off the walls. Do you follow me? So two possible meanings for volley, okay? The first one is, as you can see on screen, the bullets, right? The arrows, right? They're being shot all at one go. The other meaning is basically to kick something before it hits the ground, to hit something before it hits the ground. Do you see that like your volleyball? Yes, dear? In this context, they are shooting at the sky, right? So it is literally referring to the gunshots. Okay, so it's dry to refer to the sound, perhaps. Okay. Like you know, over here, because they say, as you can see, that it is actually very they are quiet like sticks in the stillness, right? So it is actually saying, for instance, that it is very quiet, there is no movement, there is no sound. Okay, then all of a sudden I hear this sort of jarring gunshot. Do you see that? So the dry, right, is likely with reference to that kind of tone. Do you follow me here? Okay, so the tone or the sound, okay? Now, to go back to this one, because of this drought, this is what soldiers were doing because they're desperate, right? Like, why aren't you listening to my prayers, okay? Now, the old folks said that the sun had slipped in its course. So basically what they are saying is that the sun, you're done already. We need rain, okay? But the sun is not following the proper timeline. Do you see that? So that's basically what they're suggesting, right? Slipped in its course. Do you follow me? Okay. So by right, the sun is supposed to be here and then it's supposed to move on and then we get some rain, the sun comes back. But the sun has slipped, right? It is instead of following this course, it has slipped and it has veered off course. Do you follow me? Can? Can, Okay. All right. Now, if you take a look at paragraph 3 and 4, are there any words here that you want me to go through? Yes, dear. Rousing alarms. Okay. I'm assuming it's the word rousing in particular. Okay. Any other words from paragraph 3 first, maybe? Okay. Paragraph 4, any words? Accents, right? Of final doom. Okay. Any other words? Okay, so paragraph 3 and 4, just these two mainly, is it? Yes, sir. For paragraph, which one? 3, is it? Okay, can. All right, so I'll run through these 3 phrases then. Hold on, sorry, I'm looking through. Okay, sorry, there are a lot of messages. Okay, but I'll run through these 3 then. Okay, so the first one, rousing, you can think of it as like I'm stirring. All right, let me see. Can we put it on screen? Okay, all right, like stirring. Okay, it could also be like exciting. The idea here when I say rousing, okay, it just means that it is stimulating. That is one idea. So in other words, when somebody says, "Oh wow, that was a rousing speech," like wow, right? That speech was really inspiring. It really stimulated, right, these emotions in me. I feel right like doing something about the issue. Do you see that? Okay, so that's one idea, and that is the adjective. But over here, you notice when they say rousing alarms, it is somebody that is giving these alarms, right? And of course, from our questions, we know that it is going to lead to a noisy situation. And that is the other meaning of the word rousing. Okay, in other words, the root word rouse, which quite literally means preventing someone from sleeping. Okay, so you basically wake up. Right? Rouse is to like wake up. Okay, so to call somebody or something to stop sleeping. Do you follow me? Yes, you may. All right. So over here, rousing, right, just to give you, just like the word volleys, 2 different meanings. The third, something a bit more positive, like wow, right? This is really exciting. It was a rousing speech. Adjective. In this case, it is the verb rousing. Okay, making someone not be able to sleep. Okay, waking someone up, right? I was roused, right, from my sleep. Do you follow me? Chloe, you asked about rousing, right? Okay. Now, as for storm battered, to batter means to beat up. All right. So if, for example, I say that, oh, right, she was left battered and bruised. In other words, multiple punches at one go. Do you follow me so far? Oh, all of you are suddenly behaving in front of the camera. I see. All right. Okay, so yes, battered means you are punching something multiple times. Okay, you're injuring something multiple times. So in this case, if I say storm battered, I basically mean that the storm has sort of like beat the trees multiple times. Do you follow me there? Okay. So that's storm battered for you, right? So maybe to be maybe attacked, right, by the storm. Okay, multiple times, multiple hits. Okay. Nana. Okay. Now, over here, when they say accents, right, or final doom, so say,
Sorry, what is SB?
sorry,
What is SB?
SB, oh, somebody,
Oh, thank you.
my short form. Okay, sorry. Okay, but accents of final doom, right, to get to this one, accents of final doom, I would say that accent, when we say accent, we're not talking about like the regional pronunciation, right? In this case, when I say accent, I mean like a tone, a sound, or the manner of speaking. Do you see that? So can I get you to jot that down first? Right, so accents of final doom, right, basically means like tones. Okay, so when I say that there is accents of final doom, what I am saying is that the mother is screaming at this point, right? So she has tones suggesting, right, that something terrible is going to happen. That final doom is approaching. Do you follow me so far? Okay. So in other words, right, the mother is crying, right? She is, as you say, crashing out, okay, thinking that they're gonna die. Okay, so to give you maybe a demonstration. Okay, so she says, "Get up, it's coming, right? Get up, right? We're all gonna die. We're all gonna drown. What's gonna happen? Right? We're gonna die." That's basically the essence of Final Doom. Do you follow me? So she is crashing out, thinking that they're all going to die. Okay. So over here, let me see. In this case, mother was.
So do you mean like when over dramatic? Do you mean like in those Indian dramas where they keep on overemphasizing?
I guess so, actually. Right? So, when they're super dramatic, like, oh no, what's going to happen? Now, it's not just in those kinds of, I think there are a lot of dramas where the acting is not so good. So, when they are freaking out, it sounds very over dramatic. But that's basically what's going on here. So, she's being very melodramatic, and we know that she is over dramatic because actually their house was on a hill. Do you see that? So the mother is really overreacting, okay? So the mother was screaming, right? Wailing, okay? All right. I would say uncertainty, right? I'm thinking of how to phrase it nicely, sorry. Uncertainty, right? That the family is going to die. Right? Do you see that? That is basically accents of final doom for you. Okay? Can so far? Can Yes, sir. Yes, right. So I think as my dear, as you said, it's like in those dramas, right? So she's correct. She's screaming. She is being very dramatic. Yes, she genuinely thinks they're gonna die. Okay, because of the storm. Okay, so she's freaking out. So even the dialogue, right? Get up, if not, we're all going to drown. Ah, that's the idea there. Okay? Now, sorry. Oh, no, is it my bubble tea? It's okay, guys. Let's not start beating the walls with accents of final doom. Okay, I can just wipe it later. Right? Don't worry, don't worry. Okay. Now, to go back to this one, okay, paragraph 5, 6, 7. Are there any words that you want me to go through? Don't worry, guys. Did it hit your shoes? Not really, is it? Okay, don't, I will. It's okay, guys. Don't freak out. What? You guys are so curious about this. It's just bubble tea. It's on the charger, is it? It's okay, lah, right? It should be fine. It's fine. Okay? All right, now, to go
What
back
is
to this one,
sorry,
okay?
what is spitting candles? Is it like they're spitting at the candles?
Not exactly. I would say that it's a specific kind of candle. Ah, like there are different kinds of candles there. A spitting candle is really just a normal candle. So they're holding the candle, right? As the water and the flood, right? The storm, everything is there. And so what happens is the water is I wouldn't say constantly, but it is sort of like fizzing out the candle pretty quickly. Okay?
Ah,
Okay. So I would say spitting candle is just a specific kind of candle. And over here, you notice what's happening to the candles is that you put a candle out in the rain, it's going to hiss, is going to basically be, is going to, the flame is going to disappear. Okay. So that's basically, right, what it means. Lah. Okay. Okay. Any other words here, maybe? Yes, sir? Okay. I would say that, right? Because over here, they mentioned the yellow bubbles, the fat yellow bubbles like scum. I would say that it's flood water, right? So the water is coming from maybe like the soil around it. So it could be a little dirty in that sense. Lah. So it's not like toxic rainwater or anything. Right? Yes, my dear. For which one, dear? Paragraph 5, darted about for brooms. Okay, so to dart somewhere, it is kind of like a movement. Okay, you basically are running. So Chloe, another synonym for dart, I think, like dashing, running. So we darted about because they are rushing around, right? They're rushing around to go and get a broom, so that they can tackle the flood water. Okay, follow me, dear. Can Okay, right. Now let me see. Let me see. Okay, right? Trumpet calls murdering sleep. Now, this one, when I say trumpet calls, I'm basically saying that it is loud, it is noisy, like when you blow a trumpet, right? So that's trumpet calls for you. Now, when I say that it is murdering sleep, basically the mother's voice, she's shouting so loudly, it's like a trumpet that I cannot sleep, right? Sleep is being murdered. The concept of sleep is dead. right? So sleep cannot exist. We are just forced to be awake because of the mother's trumpet calls. Okay? Yes, dear. Which one, dear? Wailing irrationally. So remember the dramatic screaming? The same thing. So she's just crying, she's screaming, right? To wail is to basically cry out, right? Dramatically. Okay? So wailing is to basically like howl. So you are shouting, right? And usually when a person wails, it is out of pain, it is out of grief, or it could be out of anger as well. So just shouting, screaming. Okay? Now, paragraph 6, I'm assuming no other words. Gigantic basically means very big. Okay, so not just big, but very, very big, right? So gigantic with an intensity there. Okay? Now, paragraph 7, right?
Sorry,
Paragraph
could you please
7.
go back to paragraph 5 as I had to go wash my plate. Sorry. I was eating.
Okay, so it's just here, dear. All right, so it's just me running through the words. Okay. Now, paragraph 7. Okay, drudgery. Okay. Any other words actually? Paragraph 7 besides drudgery? Drudgery basically means like hard, menial work. Okay, so it just means hard work. Okay, so I think, was it Ryan? You were asking about drudgery. It basically just means like hard work, labor. Okay, can so far? Can, Now, in the interest of time, right, let me see. Paragraph 8 and 9, any words here? Or so far, so good? Can, Okay. Right, inundations. Right, which one is it, dear? Paragraph 8, right? The first line? Okay. Inundation quite literally means like a flooding. Okay. So when I say inundation, okay. Now, okay, when I say inundation, it quite literally just means flooding. Like an overwhelming number or amount of something. Okay, let me put this one on screen. Okay, like the flooding of something, right? So you could say I got an inundation of notifications on my phone. I got a flood of notifications on my phone. Do you follow me? So an overwhelming abundance, right? Sorry, yeah. Okay, of people or things. In other words, a flood. Okay, so in this case, these inundations, so these floods. Okay? Can so far? Okay. Can? Does it clear? Does it clarify? Yes. All right. So there is a bit concerning that you have a bunch of people following you. Okay. But yes, right. So there was an inundation of people, right, at the festival, right? I got an inundation of notifications on my phone. Okay. I got an inundation of homework, right, from this one teacher. Okay. So you can use these terms. Can? Can, Okay, all right. So I will assume that we are more or less clear with regards to the other words. Okay.
How about
Yes.
August?
Aghast, right? Which line is it, dear?
Line
Paragraph which one?
8. Paragraph 8. When they say when the storms really blew, I used to lie aghast. Yeah.
Okay. Aghast means filled with shock or filled with horror.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
aghast means like horrified. Okay, so I looked at this person, aghast. I looked at this person, right? Horrified. Okay. Ken, dear, does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Kenna? Okay. All right. Now, in the interest of time, all right, can I get you to, okay, let me put this down. Okay, so in the interest of time, oh, sorry, duck number 2-1 from earlier. Oh, you guys are so happy about the ducks. Okay, now, in the interest of time, all right, can I get you to just do 1 and 9 now? Okay, so I'm going to give you only 5 minutes. Okay, I just want you to do question 1 and question 9, right? So only the direct questions. Okay, so I'll put 2 ducks again. So we have a Joe Biden duck, right? And this pink duck. Okay, so question 1 and 9 only. And then I want to run through this with you. Okay, last 30-ish minutes or so. Okay, I think we can take a look at the descriptive essay portion. Okay. Okay, I'm also going to get a mock.
Hi, excuse me.
Right, yes, yeah?
May I ask if we'll be going through the language mining part, page 9?
Yeah, we are. Last 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem, dear. Donna. Let me see. Okay. Oh my God, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Right, so complete question 1 and 9 only.
Can we include your favorite soup? Usually you know the sound. Sorry.
There's one. Oh, it's comes like such a you can go finish up. How you are going to say more? Now you can do it. You can so, you should your questions. I try that one. Okay. So I don't go to that's where I'll say, you know, it's next. Alright, so 2.5 more minutes. Music. Alright, so just question 1 and 9, but I see some of you are doing the other questions already, so that's fine with me as well. Okay. We'll spend the next 30 minutes, right, on the language portion, right, and the essay. Okay. Okay, so about 1 more minute.
Hi, excuse me.
Yes, yeah?
I'm sorry, but will this recording be sent to us?
Yeah, it will be. It'll be uploaded, I think, on YouTube and stuff like that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Right, so about 1 more minute. Okay, let me know which duck you think is going to win. Okay, 30 more seconds. Okay, right. So 10 more seconds. Okay, right. So duck number 2 won again. Okay, so should be quite fast, right? Questions 1 and 9. Okay, but as I was walking down the lane earlier, right, I noticed that some of you have started trying the other questions. That's great. Okay, because I want to go through, right, the questions with you now. Okay, see. Yay, my slides are so nice. Okay, so I actually like my slide design. I'm quite excited about it. Okay, now, right, paragraph 1, the author says it was so on, so forth. Okay, so your answers for this question. Sorry, dear. Okay, tell you what, I'll put the answers on screen. Okay, so do check. Okay, but there are 3 possible phrases that you could have used. Okay, so over here you could have used, sorry. Okay, so the first phrase, right, is that the springs dried up. Sorry. Copying and pasting as is, right? The springs dried up. You could also use the trees shriveled. Okay, you could also use the crops burned in the fields. Ah, okay.
Well, how about the wells filled with frogs?
That one doesn't really capture, right, the severe effects of the drought. Okay. Because the bit about the scullery pump and the water tasting of nails, it doesn't really reflect the severity because only one family is affected. So if you wrote, for example, the scullery pump, right, the usually sweet water turning brown, tasted of nails, that one is not correct because it doesn't match severe effects. Okay, so severe, all right, has to be serious, okay, affecting more than just one family. Okay,
Thank you.
we would all die soon is actually the assumption that the old people made. Okay, they think that because there's a drought, they're going to die soon. It doesn't really capture the actual impact or the actual effect of the drought. Okay, can so far? Can right, no problem. Okay. Now, question 2. Okay, so this is the one that we looked at in great detail earlier. Now, how is armistice usually used? Right, can I get everybody's attention? I'll release you from this prison in about an hour. Okay? Right, for now, if we take a look at unusual, remember we need these 2 parts, right? So when do I use the word armistice? When do I use this idea of a truce, right, or a peace agreement to describe what? Do I usually use it when I see the rain? Like, yes, an armistice. Good. During war, right? Good. Okay, so in other words, the word is typically used during war. Okay, so the way I phrase my answer is over here, okay? I hope you guys can see. Okay, it is unusual as the word, right, armistice. Okay. Is typically, okay, I'll reuse the words that I put there. Used to refer to war. Okay. And usually when we use armistice, it is war between 2 human groups, right? Okay, so 2 countries, right? 2 organizations, 2 something, okay? 2 parties, yeah, okay. Right, but you notice the way that it is used in the passage is because one party is non-human. Okay, so I'll need to specify the human portion. Do you follow me there? Okay. Right, between human parties, right, or humans, okay? But here, it is used to refer to, right? Or not refer to war, sorry. Used to refer to a truce, yeah, between human parties, right? Or humans, okay, during war. But here it is used to refer to, right? One between humans and the weather instead. Do you follow me? Okay.
So that
Now,
means the enemy is the weather.
yeah, in this sense, they view the weather as an enemy because they want rain, right? But the weather is not listening to them, right? The weather is just making it hot, right? They're not giving them any rain.
Ah,
Okay. So that's why they view the weather as an enemy. Okay. Now, as for, right, 2II, we're supposed to identify the main subject matter. I think based on what we've discussed, it is quite clear that our main subject matter here, right, would be that situation. Ooh. Okay, the situation, right, that the family is facing. Okay, and of course, right, the family and the villagers are facing, correct? Okay. And the figurative thing would be the armistice because it's not something that I would use. It's being used in a figurative way here. Now, they say, of course, that the armistice is over. So what do you think they're trying to say about the situation?
It's time for war.
Yes, it's time for war. Okay, and what are some words associated or some ideas associated with war? Yes, fighting. Okay, so who's fighting what? Okay, are you guys just going to reject it? Okay, so if I were to phrase my answer, very good. Okay, hold on now. Let me move this up. Don't know why it's suddenly a bit laggy. Let me X some of my tabs away. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think it's clearer. Okay, so it is effective in emphasizing, of course, over here, the armistice is precisely this relationship between the humans and the weather, right? We know that that's what is used to describe, but now we initially had a truce, we were okay with one another, but now that truce is broken, right? So to quote what you said, my dear, it is now time for war. Okay, and of course there is chaos, right, etc. when it comes to warfare. Okay, so that's basically the idea that needs to be captured here. Okay, so it is effective in. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Why is this so laggy? When it's through the task manager. Yes, yeah.
You know, and that refers to a peace agreement, but then you said that it will not be overall because how can peace be really mutual?
Oh, I said that.
Yeah, you said that. You said artists and you're actually more. So like, I was just wondering what
Oh,
you said.
okay. So now when we use the term armistice, okay, maybe I misspoke lah, right? So an armistice basically refers to a truce, right? A peace agreement. So in other words, when you have that particular truce in place, right, you cannot be fighting one another. So in other words, when you have that peace in place, you cannot be fighting one another during that period of time. But we have seen it be broken before. Okay, by right, it's not supposed to be broken. Okay, like those ceasefires. During the period of time, it has to be peaceful. Okay, but some of them do come to an end, sometimes not on amicable terms. So in this case, right, that armistice is precisely over. Right, so the armistice has been quote unquote broken. And what happens when an armistice is broken is that would imply that the relationship between the two parties, they have basically deteriorated, right? That now it is now chaotic, it is now war, right? So similar to, right, what is happening here between the humans and the weather, right? Because now instead of praying, they are shooting at the sky. They're trying to inflict violence right on the sky. Do you see that? So that is an indicator that there is chaos, right? Because of the armistice being broken. And after that, you notice when the soldiers broke the armistice, then came the flood. Do you see that? So the weather is sort of retaliating, right? At least that's how the author is presenting it. Yes, yeah? The truth is with the weather, humans and the weather. They don't like the drought, okay? But all this while, the humans, they just let the weather do their own thing, right? But now the soldiers, they're upset about the drought. They shoot at the sky, right? Therefore, breaking the truce agreement because they are, in a sense, attacking the weather first. So the weather retaliated by having the flash flood. Do you see that? Yes. Okay, good that you understand it now. Okay. But that's basically why it is so chaotic. Okay. Now, I don't know why this is a bit laggy. I'm just going to use my annotation function. Okay, so over here, if I were to phrase my answer, okay, we know now, right, the full story. So it is effective in emphasizing, okay, that the situation, or you could say the relationship, between humans, or I would say the villagers, right, and the weather has broken down. Okay, it has deteriorated. Okay, deteriorated, leading to chaos. Right? Now, chaos, you can say leading to suffering as well, because I think that does capture what happens when an armistice is broken, when people go back to war. Do you follow me? Can so far? Can, huh? Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to be moving a little faster. Okay, so do make sure that you pay attention. But do know that the recording will be uploaded as well, right? So, answer key, I think it will be as per the recording, right? So in other words, you can go to the recording and then you get the answers directly there. It should be on YouTube, I think. YouTube. Okay, so this one I will double check, right? But it should be YouTube. Okay. Can? Okay. Now I'm gonna scroll a little lower, right? In the interest of time.
Excuse me. Sorry, what is deteriorated?
Sorry?
What is deteriorated?
Deteriorated, it means made worse, right? Rotting.
Oh,
Okay, so for something to deteriorate, it has basically gotten worse.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem, dear. Okay, now I will leave the text in blue on screen. Now for question 3, when they say terror, the old terror had come again, and as always, in the middle of the night, what has come again in paragraph 3? Okay, those of you at home, okay, good. I'm getting a couple of answers on screen. Okay, now for question 3I, the old terror, okay, is actually referring to the flood. Okay, because it is the flood that appeared in the middle of the night and caught the writer and his family unaware, right? Okay, so it's referring to, right, the recurring flood. Okay, I would write it in full sentences. To the flood. Okay,
She say blood that the family is suffering.
okay, so in other words, you specify the end, is it? I would say can, right? It is referring precisely to that flood, okay, that the family is suffering from. I wouldn't say suffering under, but suffering from. Oh, yes, dear? Rain and storm, I would say that in this context, right, the flood is more accurate because that is the one that terrified the writer and his family. So the flood is a result of the heavy storm. Okay. Right now, what do we get about the flood? Right? What impression do we have about the flood? We actually more or less answered it already. Okay, so when I say, for example, it came in the middle of the night, it means that the flood comes when people are unaware. All right, when people are least prepared. Do you see that? And in this case, good, right? It is precisely, right, the writer and his family. Okay, so it suggests that, right, the old terror, okay, comes unexpectedly, okay, or, right, when the writer, yes, right, and his family are least prepared, okay? Do you see that? Okay, because in the middle of the night, I wouldn't be ready, right, in the middle of the night, and then all of a sudden there's a flood there. Okay, so the term in the middle of the night precisely captures the unexpected nature of these floods. Do you follow me so far? Can? Okay. Yes, right? Remember, it's L plus I. So I need to take a look at in the middle of the night, the language portion to infer an impression. Okay? Good. Now, what about the next question, right? Question 4. Okay, let me clear the screen. What does it suggest about the writer's mother? Now, the mother is beating the walls in accents of final doom. She's saying, get up, right? Get up or we will all drown. What kind of person is she? Paranoid, I would accept. Okay. She is paranoid. What else? Okay, hold on now. Sorry, dear?
Schizophrenic.
We're gonna die. Please get up. Everybody get up. We're gonna die. Oh, so
Schizophrenic.
caring. Is this not? I would say caring is too mild.
Schizophrenic.
Exaggerating, Ken? Exaggerated? Right, sorry, dear?
Schizophrenic.
Schizophrenic, I think is a bit too specific, right? So I think we don't use schizophrenic because it's quite loaded. Okay, but the idea is there, right? So exaggerated, I think is fine. Dramatic is okay. Melodramatic is okay, right? Melodramatic, all okay. All right, dramatic is accepted. Okay, but caring, my dear, is a bit too mild. Caring, I would use to describe if, let's say, oh, I saw the person, I care for this animal, right? This sick animal, caring. But over here, the main focus, right, is that she's being very dramatic. Okay, she cares, but the way that she manifests, right, that care is one that is quite melodramatic. Okay, can so far? Can, Okay. All right, now schizophrenic, like I said, a bit too specific. Okay, now this one, let me show you, all right? This one, let me show you one way of answering, okay? So as I was walking down, I think some of you tried to do this on your own. That's great. Now, can I get you to quickly go to paragraph 5? What quotes can I use? All right? I want to illustrate this, right, with just one quote. What quote can I use from paragraph 5 that captures this loud and noisy situation? Very good, right? That's something that we went through earlier, right? Okay, so the author uses trumpet calls, murdering sleep. This is my quote. What is it used to describe? What is it used to highlight? Which highlights, as I mentioned earlier, right, that the writer's mother maybe was screaming, okay, so loudly that they could not sleep. So notice what I'm doing is I'm explaining this specific quote, right? I'm explaining this specific quote. Okay, then of course my link thus emphasizing that it was chaotic, right? A word that I came up with earlier. Do you see that? So you notice when it comes to your QEL, quote, you choose carefully. Explain, you explain the specific quote that you chose. Okay, so don't just paraphrase the question, explain the specific quote that you chose. And then, of course, right, the link, I just take whatever synonym I came up with earlier on. Do you follow me? Quote, explain, link. Okay, so if you quote, right, and you give me the explanation, it is fine. If you give me the quote, explanation, and the link, it is better, right? But if you give me the quote and the link by right, okay, it's not correct lah. Okay, can so far? Can Okay. Let me see, sarcastic is when dramatic is not usually used when one is being sarcastic or not necessarily used. Sarcastic means that I don't mean what I say and I'm very sassy about it. Right? So I don't say, let's say I think this is not a nice chair, right? Mocking is that chair's ugly, right? Sarcastic is, wow, that is such a nice chair. Do you see that? There's verbal irony with a bit of attitude. So it doesn't mean dramatic is you're screaming, right? Bloody murder. So it's very dramatic. Do you follow me? So it's not the same. Okay. Can so far? Can, Okay. All right. Now, I'm just illustrating this with one quote. There are other quotes that you can use, right? So, yes, right? So the quote about the rain drowning our cries and whimpers is also a possible quote that you can use too, where the idea that it was so loud, it was so noisy. Let me see. Let me illustrate it for you. Okay. Hold on now. Let me put this one here. Okay, so if I were to reuse it again, okay, so 2 details, right? So the next detail could be the one that you mentioned, my dear. So the rain drowned, right, our cries and whimpers. Okay, so quote, and then I explain, okay, which highlights, okay, that the rain was maybe, let's say, I want to use one of the synonyms that I came up with earlier for my explanation. Is that possible? Yes, okay, right? It was so maybe piercing, okay, that The writer and his family could not hear themselves properly. This one, and let's say I stop here, it is also correct. Do you follow me? So you quote and you explain. So long as you quote and you explain your quote, you are good to go. But you notice when you unpack the focus before you try the questions, it just gives you more words to use for your final answer. Do you follow me? Can I? Okay, now 6I, what is it suggesting about the rain? The hot rods of rain, right? Now over here, when I say rod, okay, I'm describing a stick, right? So you imagine you are down there trying to keep the rain out, and somebody is stabbing you, right, with sticks. What is it suggesting, right, about the rain?
Irritating.
Okay, really painful, irritating. Irritating, I think, doesn't capture the fact that it hurts. Okay, so over here it suggests, right, that the rain was painful. Okay, can you say that the rain hurts, Ken? Right, that the rain hurts? Because over here is that it was let me see. If I were to go to the actual yeah. Sorry, yeah. Let me clear this just for a minute. It struck straight through our shirts. So the rain, right? It is so strong, right? Yes, so strong that it's able to pierce through their shirts and hit their backs. So if you say painful, it hurts, it's fine. I would also accept, right? Hold on, I'm clicking on your answers. Okay. Yes, right. So you can say heavy as well, right? Strong, heavy. You need to basically tell me that the rain has a lot of strength to be able to cut through and hit them. Okay? Can so far? Can,
Teacher, is agonizing pain okay?
Agonizing, I think too intense. Right? Agonizing is like you're curled on the floor, right? Oh my God, it's so painful. I cannot get up. That's agonizing. But over here, they're still able to sweep, right? As the rain is hitting them. So it's not that intense.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, what about a short phrase that also suggests, right, that the rain was painful? Are you guys okay? Okay, now, for those of you who tried this question, what phrase also captures that the rain hurt? Right, can I get you to go to paragraph 6? Notice it's paragraph 6, not paragraph 5. What short phrase in paragraph 6 suggests, right, that the rain hurt? Good, right? Bullet rain. Do you see that in paragraph 6? Why? Because if the rain, okay, is hitting you like bullets, that is going to be painful. Okay? Can so far? Can, Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, right. So let me clear the screen and let's take a look, right, at the next question. The narrator's mother's tone. How do you think she sounds like here?
Wait, teacher, sorry, could you please go back question 6? I almost was, I can't take the picture, I was almost done. Sorry.
Okay. Is it okay if I do it something like this? Are you able to take?
Oh, yeah, can.
Can,
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Okay, so the mother sounds anguished. Okay, right. Any other words here? What word would you use to describe the mother's tone? Okay, now, what is the mother saying? I can't think what I've done to be so troubled and tried. Neither saints nor angels. In other words, nobody would keep their patience if they had to deal with nonsense like the rain and the mud. Okay, so the better word, right, that I'm looking for, right, would actually be maybe frustrated. Okay, because there is an element of anger here. Do you see that? Frustrated, annoyed, Ken? Okay, frustrated, annoyed, they have an element of anger. It is different from she sounds, I think anguish, I think might be a bit too intense. Oh yes, dear. Sorry? Defeated implies, oh man, I failed, right? I give up. So you notice it's not quite the same connotation here. Vexed can, right? Vexed is a synonym for annoyed and irritated, right? So it can work. Okay, so vexed would be this word here. Can. Okay, so this is she sounds frustrated. Sorry, should include this, huh? She sounds frustrated, right? Annoyed or vexed. You can phrase it as she has a tone of frustration as well. Yes, dear?
Stated tone.
Can. Right? Yes, dear? Despair is like you are giving up. So despair, defeat, you are giving up. Okay. So over here, because it is so intense, I think she's more angry actually because of the keep their patience. Okay. So it's not that she has given up. Okay. She is more angry than sad lah. That's what I will say. Right? She's more angry than sad. Okay. Can you say she sounds resentful, Ken? Right? She sounds resentful. That's fine too. Okay. Now, question 8. In paragraph 8, we are told that the rain would claw the window and the wind would slap the walls. What is the storm being compared to? Clawing, right? Slapping the walls. What is it being compared to? Good, a monster? Okay, monster, it's fine. Anything else? Any other creatures? Beast, Ken? All right. Can say wild beast as well. I think wild beast might be better, my dear, because wild beast implies that there is no control, right? They're just going there, just scratching at everything. Okay. Can so far? All right. Now, if I am describing the storm as being very similar to a monster or a wild beast, what am I trying to say about the storm? Scary, ferocious. Okay. Let's see. Scary, I think can. Ferocious, let me see. Because I feel like if I talk about monsters, maybe I would accept ferocious, okay? Right? This it suggests, right, that the storm was, my dear, you said scary. Can you say okay, I would accept powerful, okay? You can say ferocious as well. I will say that usually ferocious, we use it to describe animals, right? Maybe people, but not so much weather, lah, right? So just be mindful of that. I prefer scary or powerful. Okay, powerful I think is fine. Okay. Relentless can, right? I would accept relentless. But the thing is, when I think about a wild monster, right? A wild beast or a monster, the more obvious inference to be made is that it is scary. Okay, also because if you take a look at the rest of the text, they mention how the writer is quite scared, right? The writer says he's imagining the family, the house, all the furniture being sucked down the drain, right? So he's actually scared. So that's something else that he says about the storm. So that makes, right, fearsome, scary, powerful, right, be better inferences. Do you see that? Can, Okay. Terrifying, accepted. Uncontrollable doesn't capture the element of fear, right? So basically your answer must capture fear. Okay, so if you wrote terrifying, okay, fine. Violent, I guess so. Violent, I think I would give it probably a benefit of doubt mark, lah, right? So you do get the answer, but the inference is not the best one. Okay, it's like 80% precise. Okay, can so far? Can Okay, all right. Now let me clear the screen. Okay, now question 9, right? Let me hear from you. Okay, what did the narrator realize about floods as an adult? Yes, dear.
Their house was hillside, which made it unlikely they would drown.
Yes, okay. That's precisely it. Okay. Now, in other words, what he realized about the floods was really that he would not, like his fears about the floods were all not founded. Right? In other words, he had nothing to fear. They were not as threatening as he thought. Okay, so I would say that the better answer, even though your sourcing is correct, my dear, because my focus is on the floods, right? So I need to make that my main subject matter. Okay, so he realized that the floods, you can say not as life-threatening, were not as threatening, right? Not as life-threatening, but not as dangerous, right, as he thought. Right, do you follow me? Yes, dear?
Forcing to see through the floods of peace.
Can, but I do think that it's not hitting the focus. The focus is the floods, right? So you make that the main subject matter. Okay. Yes, dear?
When later realized that her family's house will not flood and is positioned on the hills.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? So that answer is not wrong in the sourcing, but my focus is on the floods. So if you wrote that the floods would not hit his family because they were on top of the hill, that would be more accurate. Or more precise in terms of answering the question. Do you see that? Because your main focus was that his family will not drown. Okay.
Could we say that he understood his mother's worries?
I wouldn't say that he understood his mother's worries. And even then, remember, my focus here is not about the mother. It's not about his family's house. It's not about the position. It is about the floods.
So we
Ah,
must
do you see
choose
that?
a related sentence. You must choose a sentence related to the topic.
Okay, but it's not answering the focus, you see. So it's not as precise. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Yes, sorry, dear. Correct. Can. Yes, dear?
It's more like
It's actually more direct. It's just that you're paraphrasing the answer. Do you see that? It's actually more direct, right? Because you notice that it is really just you paraphrasing, right, the idea about the house being on the hill. Do you see that? Yes. So for direct questions, you can copy and paste what you need, but not all direct questions. I mean, sometimes they will ask you to answer in your own words, and sometimes the point might be very long, or it might be embedded, right? Let's say in a dialogue, or let's say in the form of a question. You realize you still need to paraphrase it. You still need to tweak it. Yes, okay. But I will say, if you wrote the bit about the house on top of the hill, I think I will give you the mark, right? But as a BOD, right? As a BOD. Okay? Can? Can. Now, the final one, I think this one, right, should be quite straightforward. There are two possible details that you could have cited. The first one is the bit about him looking for brooms. Okay, the other one is the bit about him feeling a sense of unease. All right? Okay. So were you able to get both? Hold on, okay. Okay, so if I were to go to okay, so the bit about the broom, sorry, I'm trying to scroll up. Okay. Sorry, Okay, so let me get the screen. So for the final question, right, the answer is actually over here. So you either copy and paste, right? Start looking for brooms, or I grow uneasy. Okay, only these two details that show that he is still kind of scared of the floods. Yes, yeah? One detail only. Okay, so I would say that it has to be one distinct idea on its own. Okay. Can so far? Okay, so for question 8, right, or question 9I, if you wrote that it was unlikely that his family would drown, I will give you the mark, right? I'll give you the mark. Okay. Even so, till this day, I think that's not really a detail that captures that he was bothered about it. Okay. Can What do you mean, Ryan? I think you need to paraphrase your question. Okay. Now, paragraphs 1 to 2, right? Foreboding, right? Anticipation. Okay. Paragraphs 3 to 4, right? I would say a rude awakening. Quite literally, the mother is screaming and waking them all up. Okay. And it's an unpleasant discovery, right? The flash flood. Paragraph 5, right? It is a desperate struggle because they're struggling, right, to get the waters out of their house. It's a flash flood, okay? So they couldn't like die, right, from the flood. Okay. Next one is an unpleasant, final one is an unpleasant aftermath because of all the mud and the slime and so on and so forth. As one of you highlighted earlier, it is disgusting, okay? Okay. Ryan, the keyword still, but he is still bothered, right? So he is still worried. Okay, so you need to capture the bothered portion as well. Do you follow me? Yes, dear?
Question 9, part 2, right? Saying even so to this day, right? After dots after that, right? Start looking for rooms.
Can. Okay, but I think better not to, because I think you'll be quoting the full sentence. Okay, so quote the part that best answers it lah.
Now,
Till to this day, is it? Can? So I think you can skip the even lah. You can skip the even so. Do you see the first part? Because I think you wrote Nana. So I think maybe to this day onwards. Do you see that?
okay, so right. To this day, and after that, dots and then start looking for rooms.
Yeah. Okay, but I would say that the best answer is without all of it and just the looking for brooms portion, because the main focus is that he was bothered. Okay?
Yeah,
He was still bothered, is it? Okay. Well, that's a good point, actually. But I think the idea is that because in paragraph 9, it is already understood that it is him as an adult. Do you know what I mean? Because by right then, it was not only much later. So he is an adult at this point in time. Okay, so the question is asking basically, what is one detail that shows that he is bothered by the rain, right, as an adult as well? Do you see that? So the main focus, I think, is really not still, but the fact that he is bothered, okay, even as an adult. Okay? Does that answer your question, dear? Can I? Okay. Okay. Right. Now, let me see. Okay, for those of you who are done, can I get you to flip over to the next page? We're going to do it very quickly. Okay.
Teacher, could you show the paragraph 5 and 7 for page 8?
Paragraph 5 for page 8. Which one is
The last question, question 10.
question 10? Is that?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll leave it here. Okay, need to quote if it is a detail. All right, so
Teacher,
detail quote.
Okay.
Right, sorry, dear?
Teacher, by the way, just a question. Is there like any more free lessons for English?
English don't have actually. I think this is probably there's one I think by teacher Olivia, but it is the same worksheet.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Now, no problem, dear. Okay, so now let's take a look at the next page. Okay, this one we will do very quickly. Okay, now the idea here, right, is really that when it comes to your comprehension or your narrative compre, a lot of you think that once I'm done, I'm done. Okay, now actually you can use right those words from the narrative compre to help you with your number one, building your vocabulary. Number two, it can also help you with your own writing because you can reuse some of these words and phrases. Okay. Now, let's take a look at some of them. So you can take a look at the screen. Now, don't worry too much about the writing devices. Instead, let's focus on the effects. Okay. So if I say, for example, the sky hung hot and blue. Okay. Now, what am I trying to say with this particular phrase that the sky hung hot and blue? Only? Okay. The sky was hot and it was blue in color. Okay, now there must be a reason why I use the word hung, right? Yes, dear? Okay, yeah, can, right? A nice way to say, right? There are not a lot of clouds.
Guys, here it was warm.
Okay, now you guys are not wrong, okay? But notice when I say it hung hot and blue, you imagine, right? Somebody is just hanging above you, right? The whole time, like that. How would you feel? Is it just hot then? Very hot, right? I would even go for as far as to say that it feels almost heavy. Do you see that? Almost oppressive. Okay, good. Can I get you guys to jot this down? Okay, so it is suggesting that, okay, the sky is oppressively hot. Okay, right? Maybe even. Okay. So you're not wrong that there are no clouds in the sky, but notice magic word here is hot. Sorry, hung. Okay, because hung, you notice, right? What I'm doing is I literally imagine it, right? So that's my advice for you when it comes to your figurative questions. Okay, literally imagine that thing and then you infer from there. Do you follow me? Okay, so literally imagine the sky hanging above a person and the sky is hot and the sky is blue. It's hanging right above you. You notice this when you can get this connotation of it being oppressive. Can so far? Cannot? The blue part, I think, just captures that it was extra hot, right? There was no sky, extra hot. Okay. The key idea here is that it was really hot to the point where it feels almost suffocating. Okay. Now, what about this one? Okay, it tasted of nails. Okay, so what is it trying to say about the water? Can, right? And so what is it trying to say about the water itself?
Stale.
Okay, remember? Thank you for remembering stale. Stale is water that I leave out for a long period of time. Over here, if it tastes of nails, maybe a better word is metallic. Right. It tastes like metallic, like metal. Okay. Right. So the water tastes, right, like metal. Okay, good. Right. The water tastes bad. Can. Okay. Now the idea here is also that there is a kind of contrast happening, right? Initially, it was sweet, but now it tastes bad. Right. So what is it trying to imply about the environment, maybe? Has it become better? Yes, it has become worse. Okay. Has changed for the worse. Okay. Can you say that the environment has gone bad? Yes. Okay. Can. Sorry, the word that I used earlier was metallic. Okay. Can. Right now, what about this one? Dry volleys. So the dry volleys are referring to the gunshots, right? Yes, the bullets. Now they are breaking like sticks in the stillness. What technique is this actually? When I see the word like. Yes, right? It's a simile. Just to put it here, similes are commonly tested, right? So just be mindful of this. You can also use similes in your paper one, so they are a very good technique to have. Now, over here, what are they trying to say about the gunshots? Not wrong, okay? But what is happening before that? Was there a lot of sound, right, to begin with? Stillness, right? So stillness implies there is that absence of sound, and then all of a sudden there's no sound at all, and then you hear the gunshots, or you hear a stick break. You notice even though the stick breaking is quite a small sound, it becomes even more jarring. Do you follow me? It becomes even louder, okay? So over here, let me see. There is a sharp, sudden sound, okay? I'll just put all these ideas here. I'll say maybe, sorry, the guns, right? Okay. Sharp, sudden sounds, right? Amidst the stillness, breaking the stillness. I wouldn't say breaking the sound barrier. That implies that they're so loud that it breaks the sound barrier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But over here, it's not that they're very loud. It's just that I can hear them because everything else is so deathly quiet. Okay? All right, stillness, right? Absence of sound or movement. Okay, so this further amplifies the sound. It makes it seem louder. Okay? Now, what about this one? Trees roaring, clouds bursting, thunder crashing, lightning crackling. Okay, this is during the moment when they are trying to sweep the thing, right? Together with the trumpet calls murdering sleep. Okay, so over here, right? What do you notice is going on here? What are they trying to say? Good, right? I wouldn't say it's the weather conditions only, but actually, I like that, right? Volatile weather conditions. Okay. And what else are they trying to say about the weather? Remember the word that one of your classmates gave earlier starts with a C? A lot of noises, different kinds of, sorry, dear? Yes, cacophony. Right, so over here you notice, right? Okay, good. All right, so cacophony of sounds, cacophony of noises, right? Because I can hear the trees roaring, the clouds are bursting. All of these are actually words indicating sound, isn't it? Okay. So over here we can say that it emphasizes the cacophony of sounds. I would say the cacophony, right, of noises, right, as a result of the volatility of the weather. Can? Can so far? Can I? Okay, all right, now let me clear the screen. Okay, everybody more or less done copying this? You can take pictures. We're zooming in only on the effects, by the way. Okay, all right, so let me clear the screen. Now, I initially wanted you to try, okay, but I think in the interest of time, we can just do this together. Okay, so this one, the flood water breeding fat yellow bubbles like scum. What do you think they're trying to say about the water or the flood water? Yes, right? The flood water, right, is dirty. Another synonym for dirty starts with an F. Yes, right? Filthy, okay? You can say that it is kind of disgusting. Okay, I think especially with the word scum, right? Or the fact that it's breeding, right? The water is breeding, making it feel as if it is alive in a very creepy way, isn't it?
Unfiltered water.
Right, sorry, dear?
Unfiltered water.
Unfiltered water. I think it's a very specific kind of water. I wouldn't say the water is unfiltered. Okay. Unfiltered, I think, is just a bit more specific. It doesn't capture the disgust that is being implied. Right, with the words like the breeding, the simile like scum. Okay, so it's dirty, right? It seems alive. It's almost creepy and disgusting. Do you see that? Unfiltered, neutral.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Now over here, mother would wring her hands, right, and roll her eyes. What are they trying to say about mother? Wringing her hands is like this, like twisting your hands. Annoyed, okay? Is she annoyed though in that moment? Sorry? Yes, anxious, I think it's better. Remember, annoyed implies a bit of anger. Okay, I would say in this case, she's more anxious. Okay, so mother was anxious. Another word for anxious starts with a W. Yes, very good. Okay, so clever. Okay, yes, dear?
Wait. Besides the idea of rolling our eyes.
Rolling her eyes, right? It could be like, oh my goodness, like that kind of roll as well. So rolling eyes could be like that, right? So when I'm nervous, I could also roll my eyes, but it is something like that. Okay, I see what you mean. So I could roll my eyes in annoyance as well. Not wrong. But in this context, when they say roll her eyes, because it is paired together with wringing her hands, right? So something like, goodness, I'm so worried. Do you see that? Okay. Sorry, dear? Both emotions. Okay. Right. But I would encourage you to put, I mean, if let's say for your compre, right? Choose the best one. Try not to include both. In case that one is too off, right? Off course, then the examiner could mark you wrong regardless. Okay? Can I? Okay. I would say stressed is fine as well, right? Stressed as well. Okay? I would say her physical action sort of showcase that she is nervous, right? More nervous. Now, what about this one? The rain clawing at the window. We talked about this earlier, right? Okay, that the storm felt threatening. So it wasn't just like, oh, the rain, wet. No, it felt threatening as well. It felt scary. Okay? Right, so the rain, right? Scary, threatening, something that we went through earlier. So I won't belabor this. Okay? Right, good, 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 good. Right, scary, threatening, right? Fearsome, also fine. Okay, because the rain is described as if it has claws scratching at the window. Okay, and I don't think the rain is being kind, right? Like, please let me in. No, right? It's quite aggressive. Okay, it has an aggressive quality. Okay, can so far? Can Rain was heavy, not wrong, but I want to capture claw. Because claw implies, right, that there is a violent quality to it. So if you just say heavy, it doesn't capture the violence. Okay? Can so far? Can Okay, good, 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 good. Yes, my dear? Yeah, can. Okay. Now, this one is on your page 10. I'll just put it all on screen for you. Okay, so by right, you're supposed to copy these down, I think. Yes, right. There are samples for the essay question at the back, right? So you can skip. Okay. Okay. So this is on your page 10. So you see the table, right? Okay. So these are the different types of devices, okay, like writing devices. Okay. The ones that are commonly tested for your compre, simile, metaphor, sometimes we see personification, but especially these two. Okay. Sensory imagery is basically images relating to your five senses. Okay. Now let me go through this with you, right? A little quickly. Simile, I am comparing two things. I use the word like or as. Okay. So simile, right? Her smile was as bright as the sun can, right? Any other answers? Her smile was as bright as?
Glitter.
Oh, I heard litter. I was like, you're trying to call her trash? Okay, as bright as glitter. Okay, I think the sun would be quite sufficient also, right? As bright as good, fine too. Okay. Now you notice I can also phrase it as her smile was bright like the sun. Do you see that? Her smile was bright like the sun. Also a simile. I could also say her smile was bright as if, right, it was the sun. Okay, as though it was the sun. These are all similes as well. Do you see that? So similes can come in many forms. It's not just as something as something. It could also be as if, as though, or like. Do you follow me? Okay. Now, metaphor is similar to a simile, but instead of using like or as, I say that is that thing. Right? So instead of saying her smile was like the sun, I say her smile was the sun. Do you see that? Arya, right, was a lion. Okay? So that is what I mean by a metaphor. Okay, so was a lion, is a lion, had been a lion. Do you see that? Variations of be. Okay, that's your metaphor. Okay? Now, metaphors can also come in a slightly different form. So something of something. So I could say maybe buffet of ideas. This is also a metaphor. Okay. Now, the metaphor here is that all these ideas are a buffet. Do you see that? So a metaphor can come in the form of it is that thing, right? It has been that thing. It was that thing. Variations of be. Okay. It can also come in the form of of. Okay. Can so far? Can Now, personification is when I give human qualities to non-human entities, even animals, right? So it could be an action. It could also be an emotion, right? So if I say, for example, right, the coffee looked at me sadly, okay? That is definitely, right, personification, not just because of the looking portion, but also because of sadly. The specific term for personification using emotions, it is pathetic fallacy. Okay, I don't know why it's pathetic. It's just the term. Okay, but in both instances, they're personification. Okay, so human actions, human emotions, I use them to describe a non-human entity, personification. Do you follow me so far? Can Now, sensory imagery, this one is really more to help you with your descriptive essay. Right, so what I noticed is that a lot of students, when it comes to the descriptive essay, you don't describe enough. Right, for your descriptive essay, you need to give lots and lots of details and not just factual details. Right, so don't just tell me what happened, right, or what you see. Tell me, right, how it evokes, right, different stimulates your different senses. Okay, so your five senses, right? What are your five senses? Did I include that there? No. Okay. What are your five senses?
Smell, hear.
Okay, good. Your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, sense of touch. Very good. Sense of sight. Very good. What else?
Sense of
Salty.
Taste.
Taste. Correct. Your five senses, right? Okay, now your five senses, plus you can describe movement, you can describe temperature, you can even describe what's happening with your organs. Okay? Now, this is going to sound very strange, but when I say organs, it could be what's happening with your heart, what's happening with your stomach, right? When you are nervous, how does your heart beat? Fast? What else?
it beats very heavily.
Okay, it beats heavily. I would say maybe not beats, maybe quickly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you're nervous, your heart beats quickly. It beats very fast. What else? When you're nervous, what happens to your stomach?
Turns,
Your stomach glue glue glue.
turns.
Okay, sorry, churns. Lurches. Okay, very good. Your stomach's tied into a knot. Very good. Twisted into a knot, right? Okay, good. So you notice what you just gave me was imagery that had to do with organs. Okay, so this is because even for like narrative writing, right? Some of us, we just describe, oh, I look left, I look right, I walk there, I walked here. You're just giving me actions, right? Oh yeah, I forgot. There's that guy. Maybe that's why I thought about it. Right? So if I were to describe or make my essay more vivid, I also describe what's happening with my organs in that moment. Or maybe I look left, my heart started beating very quickly. I turned to my right, and the stomach, my stomach twisted into a knot. That is more meaningful. Do you see that? So this one, please keep it with you, not just for your descriptive essay writing, but even for your narrative or your personal recount. When you're trying to show, not tell, this is how you can do that. Do you follow me? Can so far?
Wait,
Can
sorry,
I?
so that means metaphor is similar to simile, but like we use I still don't care about metaphor.
Okay, metaphor is similar to a simile. It's just that I'm comparing two things, but instead of using like or as, I say it is that thing. Right? So instead of saying Miss Amira was brave like a lion. What's it with me and lions actually? Right? Instead of saying Miss Amira was as brave as a lion, I say Miss Amira is a lion. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Right, but everyone more or less okay? I initially wanted us to describe the classroom with our sensory images. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's take a look at the classroom around you. Okay? Those of you at home, you can imagine a classroom. Okay, what do you see? Thank you. Okay, what else? Good. White walls. Okay, so you notice when it comes to sense of sight, you describe literally what you see, people you see, the colors. You could describe the size as well. Okay, those fall under sense of sight. What do we hear? Good. The cacophony of chatter. Okay, very good. What else? What else do we hear?
Students talking.
Students talking. Okay, very good. Okay. Silence also possible. So in other words, you notice for your sense of hearing, right? The sounds, it could be what you hear. It could also be what you don't hear. Okay? Can so far? Can, I guess sense of smell, you can smell a bit of the bubble tea. Yeah. Okay. Right. But yes. Right now, let me clear the screen. Okay. So now that we know, I want to reiterate, but it's okay. You can go back and watch this very cute animation. Okay. It is of, they're just explaining what floods are. It's quite cute, right? Actually. Okay, never mind. Right, I'll move on first. Okay, now for the descriptive essay, right? Don't worry. Okay, can I get you to quickly? I'm not gonna get you to do the full essay now. No. Okay, can I get you to quickly analyze the keywords in the question first? Right. So highlight the keywords in the descriptive essay. I think, my dear, which page is it on? Page 11. Right. Quickly highlight the keywords. Okay.
Describe.
Okay, right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Everybody done highlighting the keywords? Okay, so what words do we see? Okay, good, right? The weather. Anything else?
Describe.
Yes, right. Okay. Feel unbearable. Describe as well. Everything. Oh, made everything feel uncomfortable, unbearable. Can I would actually put it together in the same category. Okay, made everything feel unbearable. Okay, very good. A time. Okay, technically a time is also a key term. Okay, because I'm just asking you to describe one incident. Okay, yeah. Highlight everything. I guess, yeah, you're right. Like highlight everything. Okay, good. Okay, now notice that when I say highlight key terms, don't just highlight individual words. Some words can be grouped together, lah, right? Like what we see with the text in pink. Okay. Now let's very quickly unpack this. Okay. Now for describe, as I always say, this means details, details, details. So factual and sensory. Okay. Yeah, you can describe how you feel as well, definitely, right? Describe your feelings, okay? But you notice feelings, we can describe it using our sensory details as well, okay? Can so far? Can, Now, if you take a look, right, at the weather, okay, a time, if I were to unpack it here, okay, bear with me for an extra 5 minutes or so. Okay, a time would be an incident, right? So just one time, okay? One, okay? The weather, what are the different elements, right, of the weather? Good, right? So weather, if I were to unpack it, it could be, right, the temperature. In other words, when I am describing, I can describe the temperature and how it made it unbearable. What else? Whether or not it's raining, okay, can, right? Rain. Anything else? Can I get two more aspects of the weather?
Summer.
Okay, summer. So in other words, the heat, okay, or the sun. Can? Okay, maybe one more. The season, I would say season and weather not exactly the same. So season refers to a period of time where we generally have this kind of weather. Weather is more relating to the day itself. Okay. So the weather today is rainy, right? The weather today is sunny. Okay, so weather is a daily thing. It's not a season. Season is like months, right, of a particular weather. Okay. But over here, you can say cold as well, okay? You can also think about the humidity. So maybe it is very hot, but it is a kind of dry heat, right? Like a drought level kind of heat. Do you follow me? Okay. In Singapore, we usually experience, we have high humidity. So usually when it's hot, that's why we feel quite sticky. If you go someplace where it's quite dry, you wouldn't feel as sticky actually. Okay? Can so far? Now the final word, unbearable, right? What does unbearable mean? What does it imply? Can, right? So we cannot whatever works to help you understand is fine. But don't write cannot tahan in your essay. Okay, so if you wrote, yeah, so it made me feel like I cannot tahan. The Cambridge examiner is going to be like, what is cannot tahan, right? So please don't do that. Okay, now, what else? Unbearable? If you cannot tahan something, it means that you cannot,
Take it.
good, cannot tolerate it. Cannot, sorry, dear? Okay, tolerate, right? Sorry, I forgot one of you was mentioning something online. Great, you're wrong, you're correct, right? Who said that actually? You're not wrong, but you can see my smile has a bit of reluctance. Like, yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, cannot accept. Now, I would say that, not say cannot accept means that there is like,
Ego.
yeah, right. So cannot accept, I think, implies that there is a kind of like refusal to accept it. This cannot be. There's anger. I don't accept it. But more, this one is more like, oh my God, I can't stand it. It's so hot. It's
Does
too
it
hot.
does
Okay.
it mean by ego, like the refusal?
You mean unbearable? Not necessarily. Unbearable just means that you cannot tolerate it. So it
Ah,
could be that you find a person unbearable because of their ego. Can. Okay, but the person's effect on you is that you feel like you cannot tolerate that person. Okay, so over here when I say this, we're talking about the effect of the weather. Okay, not just the weather itself. Okay, oh sorry, hold on now. Not just the weather itself, okay, but its impact on people, maybe the mood and the environment. Okay, can so far? Can Okay, right, let me see. Right, everyone more or less clear? Hannah? Now, one thing to note is, if you take a look at the final page of your worksheet, what I have done was basically include two different excerpts relating to this question. Okay, so if you flip over, do you see it? Okay, right? So what I think you can do is to go back and you can just read them. Okay, they're really there for you to help you build your vocab, and you can identify the striking language there. What you will notice is, in both excerpts, we have basically made use of the words from the passage. So if you take a look here very quickly for the first excerpt, hung, hot, and blue. So you see the phrase from the passage. I can reuse it for this question. Okay. So don't just read your narrative compre and then forget about it. See what words and phrases are there, right, that you think you could use for a different question. Okay. So I think over here as well, my mother wrung her hands and rolled her eyes. Accents of final doom, right? That the heat would be the death of us. Do you see that? So the dramatic mother from your passage, I can use it here to show how the weather was so unbearable. I feel like it's the end of the world. Do you see that? Okay. And I think over here, my shirt prickled as if hot rods of rain struck through our shirts, but there was no rain. There was only heat. Do you see how I tweaked the phrase from the passage to use it for the question on unbearable weather? Okay, I hope you see it. Okay. And the final one, okay, if you take a look, this is excerpt 1. Excerpt 2, you will also see the same phrases. So the rain clawed, in this case, the roof of the shelter. The wind slapped the walls, just like from our passage, right? Okay. And then over here, I think trumpet calls, murdering sleep of thunder and relentless rain. Okay. So I think, let's see, this one also. Right, so I think, my dear, you mentioned the noise, right? The cacophony. I use it over here as well. Okay, so whatever words or phrases you come across for your narrative compre, do try considering them, right? And see how they could be used for your essay questions. Okay? Right, anybody has any questions so far? Okay, if not, I will...
Sir.
Yes, dear?
Just one question. Could you please go back to the essay question part? I just had to finish the unbearable part.
Can, no worries. Can, Okay, but for those of you, right, let me go to my final slides first, yeah? Then I'll go back to the previous one.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Right, so that's all that I have for you today. So you are officially released from this prison. Okay, so you can leave the classroom, you can leave the Zoom meeting. Okay, so this one is just to sort of remind you of the scanning the early birds interest thingy. Okay, if you are curious, you can also just ask the Overmark admin lah. Okay, this one is also for my classes. Yes, you also give the Google review. Actually, hold on, yeah, if you do the Google review, you can get a free foolscap paper, but it's not compulsory. Okay, so if you don't want to do it, it's also okay. What's the Google review one? Over here. Okay. For the Google review, please scan the correct one lah. Okay? But yeah, you are free to go. You are released from this prison. You are free. Okay? All right. Heidi, you will need to rewatch the lesson recording. I don't think we are releasing the answer sheet. I will double check. I'll double check. Okay, but you can just the recording will be uploaded onto YouTube. Okay. So for those of you who did the Google review, let me know. Then I can pass you the foolscap paper. Okay. But if you don't want to do it, it's okay also, right? It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Page 11. Okay. Actually, yes. Hold on. Okay. Are you guys done scanning first? Can, Okay. So let me go to page 11. Once you're done reviewing, you just let me know. Like, you show me, then I'll give you the... Right? I'll give you the foolscap paper. So do you mean this one, dear? The excerpt 2? This one? Yes, my dear. Oh, okay, can. Hold on, Actually, you can also search overmarked, what do you call it? Overmarked Tampines. Do you see it? Then you can just leave a review. Oh, essay question, is it? Okay, give me a minute. This one? Okay. All right, hold on, my dear. Let me get the foolscap paper first. Oh, that's fine. Actually, you look very familiar, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I feel like my school.
So how can? Yeah. Okay, I can look at it.
Ready? One, let me get my paper. Oh, so I feel like the first one.
Yeah, that's it. Why can I mean where now? Wow. But yeah, it's yeah. What
I think you take that shot. There's so much more. Yeah. Maybe you should down it down first, right? Oh, how's your the house in the morning? Try to wait, show me that. Wait, I show check this. I'm doing this every day. I really enjoy. The same one. It's really, help a car crash. Wait. Wow, I'm not touching. I don't like that. Then I don't want to move. I don't even get it. Yeah.
Excuse me, teacher. Shut up.
You go like that. Okay, you go right. Okay. Okay, I'll send that. I'll sit to you. Ready to do as well? You too? You were just right behind me because you just lost it. I'm gonna get to one.
Wait. Excuse me, teacher.
You can get the book right here. Yeah. Here you go, Jack. And here you go, Jack. There you go. Right. You already have it? Okay. Let's try. Right. Okay.
Where your food?
Right. I think Sabish, you wanted me to go to a previous page, right? Was it?
Yes, sure. And then after that, could you go to question 3 as my friend is begging you to go to question 3?
Which one? Which one?
This part.
Yeah.
Just go down. Okay, can sure. Charlize,
Oh.
screenshot now. Hurry up.
Right. Right. No problem, dear. Hope to see you guys in class. Right. Or it's okay. I know. You were like, it's okay.
Do you have your like lessons?
Yes, I do. Give me a
See
sec.
your next.
Teacher, sorry, could you go
Ooh,
to
yeah.
excerpt 1, please?
Excerpt 1? Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
one earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, this one?
Yes.
Remember that this one because I used the different annotation function. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's really the same thing from your L plus I section.
All right, understood. But that means the overall is just that wait, ma'am, I forgot to ask you something. Just now in the beginning, I asked about the language inference part.
Yes. Right. So you didn't get to copy it down earlier, right?
Yeah. So I please see that.
Okay. Okay, Ken, hold on. Let me show one of your classmates here a different slide first, my dear.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
so Chloe, you can refer to this one. All right, so you can just scan this one. If you're interested in joining next year, I would recommend you join the what do you call it?
Okay, I'll scan that as well.
This one I think is more important because at least if you decide to join next year, because we saw you scan here, then you can get all the free stuff.
So wait, it's not here only, right? Other branches also. Okay.
Yes, right. So there's also at Kovan, right? I'm stationed mainly at Kovan and Tampines. Okay. Do you live near Tampines?
Yes, so I'm thinking of whether going to the travel.
I would say the Kovan. One thing to note about the Kovan branch is that they run out of snacks faster. I mean, if that's a concern, right? So just something for you to take note, because I think that's our main center, right? So there are more hungrier people, a lot of hungry people. Okay, right. Bye. Hope to see you in class soon. Right. Sabash, I think you were saying this one. Right? Can I get you to maybe screenshot it first, yeah? Because I have a class in about 10 minutes. Right, hold on.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
And now, let me find not this one, sorry, yeah? This one.
Okay, sorry, give me a moment. My My app just off by itself. It's very irritating.
Okay, no problem there.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
take
Could
your
you go
time.
to the? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, can.
Yeah, this one,
Thank
this one.
you.
No problem.
So that means like overall, we just don't have we just have to read the question properly and at least know what's the question about and understand and then just answer it for
Correct.
comprehension.
For language questions, I mean, try to unpack the language terms first.
Mhm.
Okay, so in other words, for the language questions, right? Make sure that you really think about the connotations, right, and the meanings. So that will help you come up with more meaningful inferences.
Understand, sure.
Okay,
Thank you. Rachel,
right?
please
No
hold
problem.
on. I think my friend has some other questions. Let me ask her because she's very, very shy.
Sure. Did she
Charlie.
sign up for this class? Because then I can mark her attendance.
Oh yeah, she did sign up for this class, sure. She's inside. Her name is Charlize. Yeah.
Oh, okay, can. All right, sorry, because I need to mark the attendance.
Okay, understood, sure.
Okay.
Charlize, you want any other questions? You want? Charlize. Oi.
Are you guys just like inside the classroom? Like just watching and doing the questions together, is it?
No, sir. We are doing it online, so we are just like doing it together because she recommended me this one, so I just came.
That's good. All right, because I think you asked a lot of questions. So thank you for being participative as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. Okay, but I'm assuming no other questions then?
I think that's also. I think that's all, ma'am.
All right. So if anything, the recording will be uploaded to YouTube so you can rewatch it lah. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Can. No problem.
Bye bye.
Bye. Right, enjoy your September holidays,
Thank
guys.
you.
I'm gonna
Bye.
be ending the Zoom meeting now.
Thank you.